Hey everybody, how's everyone? We are now live, and here we go. Yep, this is okay, and here we are. Oh man. Do we have everything all right? Yes, it's working. Schedules are up. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Friday. Yeah, for some of you, of course, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. For a YouTuber like me, yeah, it's one of those days. Actually, it's live show day, so you know. It has that thing that is a shortwave show. But apart from that, regular days, YouTubers are a weird breed of people. And it's not always, it's kind of weird. I don't have the feels, everybody has about Sunday or Monday or, I got a feel about weekdays and weekends, that I got to say. But I don't have, a feel of, all of you hardworking guys out there know the feel of a Sunday or whatever day comes before your start of the week, the work week and stuff. It's kind of a different thing. I lost track of what it feels like a little bit after all these years. I almost did the show from outside today, actually. It's really nice, but what prevented me, two things. Neighbor is doing some jobs on his house, so there's a lot of noise out there. Plus, it's windy, and I thought, well, too much wind is gonna make the audio crappy. So for today, it's indoors, but it feels like summer. It's like 75 or something out there. It's like really nice. And we're supposed to be in the 80s tomorrow and Sunday with some sunshine. So that's going to be nice also. So welcome everybody. This is the Shortwave Radio Show. We are live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Here every Fridays at 2000 hours Universal Time. We tune the shortwave bands. We answer questions. We talk everything 30 megahertz and below. And, that includes really low frequencies, very low frequencies, VLF, low frequencies, the long wave bands, the medium wave band, which incorporates or includes the famous AM band that we call in North America. And of course, shortwave. That is a big chunk of our show also. A few interesting observations I have for you guys this week. And I don't know, today I was trying to think about, how the show could be interesting. And I thought that maybe I could ask you guys radio-related questions about you and the hobby and kind of, go back a little bit into how everybody started. So hang in there, but I'm going to ask these questions, and when I'm pretty much in the vicinity of, a almost live chat room, we'll of course, I'll actually ask the questions and so on. So my name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America. We're here every Fridays at 2000 hours Universal Time. Going to talk about something that has to do with Saturday shows. There's going to be a change in the way that I do live shows. The Friday show is still going to be Fridays at 2000, and that is going to stay like that. But we will, of course, be changing the Saturday show to another type of format, and we'll get to that in not very long. Hey there, Elton Byington. Nice to have you on board. K3JWA in Baltimore. Mark Cope. Nice to have you here. Dallas, Texas. Matambali. Nice to have you on board from Colorado. Joe Rodman from Omaha. Normally he's in Chicago. Nick Mayakovsky. Nice to have you here. And he says only 68, sunny in Nova Scotia, Canada. Bobby Burgess in Morgan City, Louisiana. Nice to have you here. Ray Kelly, Nova Scotia. PD1, JDW, or JD Williamson, sorry. Good evening. Nice to have you here. We have Matt, MDK2. Nice to have you here, my friend. Jack, 2112. Nice to have you here. N9IIF. Look at that. We've got a QSL card. That was on a box that had the famous Yaesu FT450. What else do we have? And there's going to be a change also. I'll explain a few changes in my office where we're going to have a digital side and an analog side. A little bit like, that was a suggestion of David in Barcelona. And I thought the idea was good. So we will have everything digital here and everything analog on the other side. So that's going to be kind of an interesting way of doing things and doing radio. So we'll kind of have, Fridays that are going to be digital, like today, and analog. So this analog radio is going to move over there. Everything that's analog that doesn't belong here is going to be on the other side. But this side will have the Yaesu, the ICOM, the SDR, and so on. What else do we have? Bro Weaver, nice to have you here. Says, you're going to listen to WBCQ tonight. Any news about 500 kilowatt transmitter? Just wonder who is backing this. So, you know what? One of the things that is interesting is that we now know that the antenna is like $7 million. The transmitter is $2 million. It's like $10 million for that transmitter and antenna. And of course, it's apparently a group called End of Times that is apparently, it's a group of flat earthers that would apparently have the money to do that. Come on. A flat earther group has $10 million to shed on a transmitter and an antenna, not counting the fact that they're going to have to pay for that 500 kilowatt of power that probably cost a lot of money. So you know what? Everything is possible. One of the possibilities that we think of is the U.S. government somehow giving money to maintain this because they understand that shortwave is strategic and that there's a possibility. So I don't know. I'm just saying that kind of on the air, but come on, come on. So $10 million, I don't think it's just some church, honestly. $10 million, I don't think it's just some church. I mean, $10 million is a lot of money, and I don't know of that many churches today that have that kind of cash. I'm pretty sure that it has to do with some government thing in the background for sure. William Helms, nice to have you here from Florida. PLF Radio, nice to have you here. Bonjour, bienvenue de la France, toujours un plaisir. Et santé, cheers everybody. I've got a don de Dieu. It's a gift from God. Cheers. Raymond Challoner, nice to have you on board, my friend. Brent, nice to have you here from Brockville, Ontario. Redelpa 65, nice to have you on board, my friend. We have Danny Shortwave and Radio DX, nice to have you on board from Yonkers, New York. I wanted to talk to you about something. I saw one of your videos that intrigued me the other day, but I completely forgot. I didn't take note of which one. I'll have to remember that. I'll comment in the video when I get back on it. Simon Templar, nice to have you on board, my friend. Pretty cool to have everybody here. Bullfrog 89, KD2CXU from Watertown, New York. Max Headstrong, nice to have you on board. Brent, just got the SDR player SP1A and I'm really enjoying it. I just need a better antenna. It's an amazing device. And talking of antennas, I'm still waiting for my W6LVP loop because it's stuck at the border control thing. So it actually, I was tracking the package and it's very weird because the package left Los Angeles, California, ended up in London, at the Heathrow Airport in London, and then to Montreal. So some kind of weird way of sending packages, probably the way that it was done. And it's in Montreal since June the 4th. So today, what is 7? Since Tuesday. But it says that it's held by customs. So they are probably looking at whatever is in the box and wondering what is that strange thing and what is that Canadian guy going to do with it. So it's been there since I looked 10 minutes ago, and it still says that it's stuck. You see, if I look here and I go to my package is on the way, it still says that it's held by customs in Montreal, Canada, since Tuesday. So I hope someday to have the antenna working and up. Kevin Wood, nice to have you here from Nova Scotia. We have Keith Logan, nice to have you on board, my friend. We have Don Stefano, nice to have you on board from Frankfurt, Germany. Andy RC, nice to have you on board, my friend, from Cornwall, UK. No problem at all, Andy. There are other things than just watching Gilles in life. René Charbonnier, nice to have you here from Holland. Pretty cool, René. Bienvenue. Bienvenue. New wooden pencil holder. No, it's not new. It's been there for a while. It's just that it's never been really up front. This is actually a gift from China Radio International, honestly. I received that many years ago. So this is a gift from China Radio International in real wood, and I've been using it as a pencil holder. But it's just that it wasn't really up front, so you guys couldn't see it really well. But now that it's on top of my Pro 2006 scanner, easier to see. Tony Perrone, nice to have you here, my friend. Tony Turtle, nice to have you on board. Nastrovia, I like that. Radio Telescope, nice to have you here. Butterbean, nice to have you on board. Looks like 11 meter band opening, 38 LSB busy. It was busy almost all week. There's so much sporadic E-skip. So much sporadic E-skip this week that I was almost every morning. I wake up typically around 9 a.m. local time, which is 1300 UT. And almost every morning this week that I just turned on the radio, there was sporadic E-skip, and with the 11 meter band, the CB band was full of signals. 38 LSB was full of signals. Of Super Bowl Channel 6, of course, was full of signals on 27025. Mika Dalmage, nice to have you here, my friend, from Alberta, Canada. Yes, all beers are gifts from gods, absolutely. Cheers. Kate Logan says, just want to ask you something. What do you think about the Ethon Mini on Shortwave? I just got it yesterday. I don't know how good it is, so let me know if this radio was a good buy. The Ethon Mini is actually not that bad, honestly. It's not up to par to other portables, probably. Although if you put a few feet of wire on the antenna to make it longer, you're actually going to get some signals. It is an interesting little radio. And you know what? If you want to see more stuff about it, I'll make it one of my what if videos this week. I'll take it out of the radios that I've got, and I'll do it. I'll do a full day of what if the Eton Mini was the only radio I've got. So you'll see my comments and what I think of the radio, and of course I'll give my kind of an outlook or a little review of after using it for a day or two, what I think about it. But it's not a bad radio. I think if you take the time to tune around with it, you'll pleasantly surprised. The only thing I have negative I would really say on it is the audio. Kind of a thinny, very small speaker in there. So the audio isn't that great. But honestly, it's a nice radio, and I got mine at the same time. I've got the Ethon Traveler 3 Grundig edition that I also like a lot. And I, of course, compared both for a while because I had them together. I did compare both of them for a while. And I got to say that the Ethon Traveler 3 was more sensitive, but the Ethon Mini was actually quite nice, honestly. So I think if you take the time, like I said, clip a 10 feet piece of wire on that little antenna, and you'll see it comes to life even more with that. So I think you're going to have fun. Matt says, here's one good reason to be skeptical of the idea that government is helping. WBCQ Wiener is a former pirate. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything, Matt. Honestly, it doesn't mean anything. And he's in a very strategic area of the United States for transmissions. I think there's no way that a religious group is dishing $10 million plus all the money that's going to take for 500 kilowatts. There's no logic behind that. Absolutely none. There's no way. One of the things I was talking about, and we're discussing here, by the way. I'm not, I'm not saying that it's not possible or not. Yes, it's totally possible that, and I respect your opinion. I have my own, and it's just that if you look at, I was talking with Sheldon when we went to when we're talking about that with Sheldon at the International Radio Report. We always arrive kind of 20 minutes, half an hour before the show, and we talk about different things. And we were talking once about a couple of weeks back. We were talking about WBCQ and all of that. And Sheldon is kind of in my way of thinking also, that there's something fishy about a flat Earth group having that kind of money, and there's something else going on there. But I was talking about how, for example, if you listen to WEWN, the Catholic station on shortwave, one of the frequencies I get all the time here is 15610. And I sometimes stumble upon their shows when there's callers. So people call, and they always ask where they are listening in. And they were asking the other day, well, do you listen in, where do you listen from? And everybody, of course, answered a local AM station or a local FM station. I listened to at least 30 calls. I just left the radio on. I was doing other stuff. I left it on just because I wanted to know each listener where they were actually listening from. None said they were listening for shortwave. None at all. Which tends me to believe no religious group in his right mind uses shortwave for religious stuff, because nobody's listening in on that. I mean, we know it's there, and we know we're bombarded by religious stuff on shortwave. Look at Brother Stare and all of that. But honestly, from what I see, nobody's listening in to these shortwave religious broadcasts. And when you get to WBCQ, I mean, if you got 10 million to dish, I'm sorry, but you're better off starting a string of FM or AM stations and scattered across the U.S. and, broadcast local programming. There's no logic there. And shortwave is an amazing possibility for everything. And when times are going well, like now, and in general, not for everybody in the world, of course, it's that time when we don't really think that, shortwave was an amazingly good way of getting around the world when things went bad. I mean, look at this week. We were celebrating D-Day, and I've seen many articles of how of radio and heard many things about how radio was important back in World War II, and we are at a time when it's a little quiet. I mean, there's no Cold War, even though with Russia it's kind of a weird feel. It ain't going very well with China, but we can't say that we're in a Cold War or a time like in the 70s or 80s or the 60s, even if we go further back. So I don't know. Somebody somewhere has money. Let's at least put it like that. Somebody somewhere has money and has an idea of why this is important. And honestly, just to answer back at one thing about you being skeptical of the idea, because Alan Wiener was a former pirate. How many times the U.S. government gave money to people that were bad guys to suddenly become good guys in certain moments when they need them? Let's put it like that. And I think every government does that. It's not just a U.S. government or something, Alme Sam, nice to have you on board. Says glad he picked up a Texan PL 880 last week, as his Kato KA 1103 now shuts down every time the tuning volume dial is moved. Wow, that's weird. JD Williamson, yeah, maybe. You know what? The first thing that I thought was, okay, they're thinking what? It's a bomb or something in a loop form? Tony Turtle says, seen a show about Mormons buying skyscrapers because they have extra cash. Yeah, but the thing is, they're buying that because that is making money for them. You're not making money out of WBCQ transmitter. Louis, nice to have you on board. Al Catalan, nice to have you here, my friend. Oh, man. What else do we have? Matambali says, surprised that a former pirate could actually get a license. Why not? You can become a good guy. There's no, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing, honestly. It's kind of an interesting moment, that's for sure. And by the way, good luck, my friend Matt. I'm sure you will have that ticket, that ham ticket, for more advanced communications. Okay. Bob T, nice to have you here from Northeast Ohio. Denis Allard, bonjour et bienvenue from the depths of the Montreal subway. That it's kind of funny because I have, every time you tell me that, Denis, is I have an image of you sitting on a bench and the subway, the Montreal Metro, and just holding your phone or tablet or whatever you're using and looking at whatever I'm doing and listening with your earbuds. It's just kind of, oh, okay. Eric Cottrell, nice to have you on board. Well, I don't know, actually. I don't remember what it was for, but I remember it was not made for pencils. It was made for something else, but I don't remember what. I think it was, I don't know. I'm wondering if it wasn't for like paint, some kind of paint, paint brushes and stuff. But anyways, it looks good like this. Mick, nice to have you on board, my friend. It's nice to have you here after a couple of weeks. Oh yeah, it's very difficult to greet everybody. Absolutely, like Matt says, I do it, but some people are annoyed that I actually greet everyone in the chat room and take the time to say hello, which I do not. I don't think it's a waste of time or anything. I think it's even more interesting because I take the time to say hi to everybody. I mean, you guys following me? I think the minimum is to say hi to everyone and make sure that tell you I'm happy to see all of you. Syrian Willow, nice to have you on board. Nice to have you here. What else do we have? Joseph Ivankovich Jr., nice to have you on board. He's receiving WWV on 25 megahertz. Fairly rare for him in Michigan. Wow, it's pretty good. Just out of curiosity, I'll just tune in. It's not the time of year for that for me normally, but it's more of a winter thing. There's nothing on 25 here right now, but I've heard it. Last time I've heard it, it's been a long time since I've heard actually WWV on 25 megahertz. PLF Radio just received a Texan AM 210 and not tested yet. I only receive medium wave stations during the night. I'm too far away to receive them during the day. Night has just begun. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun. Yeah. Hey, Tony Turtle, let's not go too far in that religious stuff. I mean, everybody is entitled to their own beliefs, I think, Tony Vermone says government is always willing to waste tax money on foolishness. Oh, well, I think it's every government around the world. D1 DJK from Germany, nice to have you on board. Matt says, I suppose we'll know if they ever transmit government stuff, but someone will have to be able to monitor all the frequencies because I'm sure a government broadcast won't be on a regular WBCQ frequency. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, It is a cover, for sure. Flat Earth is a cover. End of the World group, that is a cover. It's impossible that group dishes $10 million for that. If it's not government, I don't know. We got to wonder where the money's coming from. Nick Mayakovsky says Flat Earth is a cover. Yep. That's possible. I don't know. Brian Penny, nice to have you on board from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Received a QSL from WINB today. Wow. Cool. I have two QSLs from WINB. One from the 80s when the only frequency they were using was 15145, and one from early 2000s or something. Matt says, I have trouble seeing Wiener, a long-time government foe, especially FCC, suddenly be in front for them. Now I can imagine the church being a front for someone, but people often have more money than sense. One thing for sure, it is weird. And whoever is paying for it, there's some weirdness in all of that. I can tell you that. There's really a weirdness, Terry Colgan, nice to have you on board from Austin, Texas. What else do we have? Danny Shortwave Radio DX says, Brother Stare is on my medium wave bands too. Oh man. I've never heard him on medium wave. I hope I never do. Shortwave's enough. D1DJK, the best of religious stations on shortwave is that some of them broadcast from rare broadcast countries, which count for the XCC diplomas. I have a problem with hardcore religion stations on shortwave, but that's a personal thing. But I don't have let's say a total hate for them, depending on how they are showing themselves, the type of programming. An example that I give is the HCJB. HCJB was a religious station. The basics of HCJB in Quito, Ecuador were to bring us towards, Jesus and God and all of that. But they do it in a way that it isn't, they're giving a message, and you can take it or not, but there's something else. And of course, that something else is to bring you to debt. Of course. Another station that I say was kind of like that is Adventist World Radio. I mean, they do have the AWR Wavescan show, which is a DX show. And they have some interesting stuff from time to time within their broadcast, especially in French. And, they are bringing their religious stuff into programming, but it's not just that. Where I have a problem is more like, getting just a preacher 24 hours a day on the bands. It's like, come on. There's other things you can talk about. But, there are some stations that bring it in a way that it's okay. I mean, like I said, we're all entitled to our beliefs, and there's, I'm not going to talk much about that, but religion is like politics. I mean, we have our opinion of who we want, who we don't want, what we like, what we don't like, what we believe, and what we don't believe. And that's all. It's the only thing that, is, the only thing that is, somebody's texting me. So, it's all right. And we got to respect that. That's for sure, I mean, but there are stations that are doing it in a way that it's not in your face. There's other stuff around it that could be of interest, and you listen in, Yep, Texan is going to bring a new receiver, some new receivers, the Texan S990 and S9000, something like that. And once again, it's telling us that they're making money out of this. Because, I mean, they wouldn't release new shortwave radios if it wasn't making money. They're making shortwave radios because they're selling them. And there's a big Asian market for them, first of all. And, there's fans like us that purchase some of those. They look nice. It's going to be interesting to see what how they perform. But definitely that means that if you spend money designing a new shortwave radio and selling it, well, you're selling the radio somewhere, for sure. And you know what, Bro Weaver says, amazing new radios coming out when sunspot cycle's so low. It doesn't matter. We take way too much. There's one thing that I see a lot on the groups. And it's we take too much time focusing on the solar cycle. I mean, to give you an example, okay? Because a lot of people say, well, the brands were crappy this week. Probably solar cycle. We got to be careful because, first of all, there's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. If you live in the northern hemisphere right now, we're going to be in summer in officially, 2 weeks? Midday in the summer is the crappiest moment for shortwave listening. It's always been like that. Even when the solar cycle was high, midday in the summer was always crappy. It's not a solar cycle thing. It's actually more of a higher absorption from the ionosphere, with the sun being much higher, and it changes the propagation. So midday is always bad. So I see posts of people saying, well, I was listening at noon today and heard nothing, so I guess propagation is crappy. No, you don't understand that at noon in summertime is a crappy time to listen. It always has been. And listening at noon in the wintertime isn't the same. Even though it's crappy because of the angle of the sun and the propagation is different, you hear more things in early afternoon, for example. So we got to be careful with that. We got to be careful with always blaming the solar cycle for I'm not hearing anything. Okay, I wish the solar cycle would be stronger, and I wish solar flux would be above 100. Yes. That said, we're at the minimum. Solar flux is 69 today. All I'm going to say is it made me still listen to, Spain with a great signal, and Voice of Vietnam via WHRI, and Radio Prague, Slovakia, Ukraine via WRMI. Voice of Turkey is coming in really well. Nighttime, Radio New Zealand 13840 has been coming in very well. The 20-meter amateur band has been pretty good, even in the evening and almost into the night. Let's just focus on one thing. Solar cycles have been there forever. In the past 100 years, when shortwave arrived, we had peaks, we had lows. We lived with the peaks and we lived with the lows. I lived with the low in the 80s that I remember, because when I started listening to shortwave back in 82, we were at the descending side of the peak of the early 80s. And we came to 1985, 6, 7, which was solar minimum. And in that time, yeah, it was a little harder, but the fact that there was a lot of stations shows that even at solar minimum, there's a lot of things to listen to. So let's not give too much importance to a solar cycle time, because we got to live with it. We're at solar minimum and we got to live with it. So the thing is, and the problem that is hired is two very important things, especially if you're in North America. Because in Europe, you guys are not bad. You got some transmissions in there. I listen to the SDRs from Europe quite regularly, and I got to say, I'm jealous of you guys in Europe, all you can hear. Here in North America, and even in South America, it's the same thing. High noise, coupled with no transmissions, not a lot of transmissions directed to our region, equals, yeah, there's not a lot of stuff to listen to, and when it's bad, it's worse, looks worse than it could be because of that. But those two factors are way more important than being at solar minimum, honestly. And we got to remember that. It's solar minimum. We've had many of them. I lived through, from 82. I lived through at least 3 or 4. Yeah, they're kind of deep, and the peaks are not super high in the past, 10 years. But look at the strong signals that are making it, and look at the stations like, Voice of Turkey or Radio Romania that are still broadcasting to North America. They're pretty good and pretty strong. Radio Exterior de España on 9690 is an amazingly strong station, which tells us propagation's there. It ain't that crappy, actually. It's just that there's a lack of broadcast towards North America. And what happens? Well, the signals that we do get are weaker. They're not as strong. And that means you gotta have lower noise, or if you have noise, you're not hearing them. If you guys go back and look at my Perry Island videos, I hear tons of things there because the noise is very low. Come back home, I don't hear the stations. They're in the noise. So let's be careful about using solar minimum always as an excuse, or saying, well, you know what, solar minimum, that's why it's crappy. Got to be careful with that, because it ain't all crappy, I can tell you that. Joe Topinka, nice to have you on board from Chicago, and doesn't listen to medium wave much, just shortwave. Yeah, I don't listen to medium wave AM radio much also, especially not the local AM stations. I have no interest in any AM stations in Montreal. Like I have pretty much no interest in many FM stations in Montreal, except maybe the CKUT for the International Radio Report. But you know what? I kind of like medium wave at night, just going through and seeing all the signals coming from, the U.S. and so on. So, Danny Shortwave says the Texan S9000 boombox looks really sweet with the 2 speakers. Yeah, it looks kind of interesting. It did catch my eye, I can tell you that. 7 Templar, new Texan radios look slick. Will I'll most likely buy one. I know some of you will. I don't know. Maybe if they're in a reasonable price, maybe I'll get one. Mark Cope, are you a Raptors fan? Does anyone care about the Raptors outside of Toronto? I keep hearing about all of that, but I can't say I'm really a fan or anything, honestly. McGlone, nice to have you here from cloudy Florida. Yeah, that's true, Matt. Personal conversation and being friendly, I think it's fun for that. Randy, Riverside, California, KN6BZG. Nice to have you on board. D1DJK says 12095 BBC from Ascension Islands, 5 out of 5 over there. I'm telling you guys in Europe are really, really good with these signals. You try it out here. Not even, there's a very weak little peep of something. Bro Weaver, perhaps WBCQ sold out to, let me just go back here. We're going to go down as fast as we can. So here we go. And since he supports touching girl boobies with brothers there, let's not go there too much. Butterbean says, after making a 3-foot stand off of my G5 RV, my signals went up about 2 dB. I guess you shouldn't hook the center connector directly to the tower. Too close. Yeah, there are some rules that need to be followed. That's for sure. Because, antenna height. There's antenna height. Here's Mr. Paul for you guys. Mr. Paul saying, hey. Hey, Paul. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. So, Mr. Paul the Cat saying hello. So, antenna height is, of course, something you gotta be careful because it does change. I mean, the shortwave frequencies, lower frequencies particularly, there's a minimum of height that gives you a good performance out of the antenna. And also, a lot of things that got to be careful is how close antennas, different antennas. If you have more than one antenna, having them at a specific distance from each other, because there's interactions that happen all the time. So there's a lot of little things like that that can actually make a big difference if you follow the rules, honestly. So you gotta. It's interesting. It's the science behind the physics behind antennas and radio waves it's just fascinating when you think about it. It's just really fascinating when you think about all the interactions and all that happens with that. It's just crazy. Oh man. Here's one thing. Whole thing could be intended to lose money for tax dodge. I don't know. What else do we have? Matt Dat, Spanish. Special regards from Polish station SP7EVG M0EBC. Nice to have you here, my friend. Cool. So, Mr. Paul being comfy now in my arms. David Arden, KJ4CMY. Nice to have you on board, my friend. Eric Cottrell says, I can hear traffic and birds chirping in the background. The windows must be open. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Absolutely. It's pretty warm today. René Charbonnier says, I love shortwave radio and bought the Texan S2000 and the S8800 and don't regret it. They're nice radios, I can tell you that. Brent, my friend worked for HCJB for a while. Max S. Strong says, "Does WBCQ really promote flat Earth theory?" You know what? WBCQ will let you put on the air whatever you want to say, as long as you pay to be on the air. Yep, lots of birds and lots of activity. You know, it's beautiful outside, I can tell you that. Eddie Gomez, nice to have you here. No, I don't have any expertise with the Mega Dipole NX300. I don't know if anybody can comment on that. Yeah, PL 990, that's it. PL 990 and 9900. One more zero. They're pretty nice, actually. Terry Cogan, Elvis Radio on 3905 in Europe via the U20 SDR. Cool. David in Barcelona, nice to have you on board. Really cool. What else do we have? D1DJK have two great working S350DL, one on the desk and one on the back up, new in the box. Additional, the Texan R9012 and a DR920C. And rarely used Grundig Yacht Boy 217. David Elkins, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. A lot of people in Europe, actually. Nick Mayakovsky says, best FM skip I've ever had was midday and summer months. I know that is not the same as shortwave, but I've been seeing a lot of European DXing FM in the past week. Lots of sporadic e-skip that actually broadcast these frequencies, really high frequencies, actually. Rob Fiducia, nice to have you here, my friend. Rob. P1 says, come live in Europe. Yeah, I need to. Oh, man. What else do we have? Max S. Strong is trying to adopt a more minimalist way of life. I can adopt a minimalist way of life except for radios. Simplio, nice to have you on board. Says got a new radio. Woohoo! You want DJ Kejon in Europe? He will go mad on medium wave when it's dark. So many stations. Yeah, and I'll be able to listen to all the French stuff from France. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Rob. There's a YouTube shirt that I got when I went for one of the YouTube sessions. I still have 2 more sessions to go to with YouTube people here in Montreal. They give you pointers and interesting stuff about, you know, how to maintain your audience and so on. It's kind of interesting. Matt says, where I am, the West, those stations you mentioned aren't dependently strong here, but that said, West of Korea has been... Yeah, well, that's always been kind of somewhat of a problem. Western North America has always been a little more difficult for, the stations in Europe, for example. That said, you guys hear stations from the Pacific or from Asia better than I do here in the East. You know, you will hear Voice of Korea, or you will hear Radio Japan direct from Japan easier there than I do here. It's the other way around, basically, and it still states the lack of broadcast towards North America, basically. So what else do we have? Jerry DX, nice to have you on board. Anton Bali is hearing WHRI on 17.15. It is absolutely a lot of fun to do the expeditions. I need to do one this week. It's going to be pretty nice this week. So I probably will have my first Perry Island expedition possibly this week. We were supposed last week, but it wasn't really nice enough in the past week. So we'll see. So everybody's happy to see you, Paul. What else do we have? Paul's why we all come here, says Mick. Yeah. So yeah, in Europe you guys have so many stations over there. It's pretty crazy. Syrian, well, you won't find any flat earthers in the DX community because radio wave proves that Earth is spherical. Yeah, I guess. Oh man. Yeah, everybody believes in something, I guess. Absolutely. Joe stumbled on US. Nice to have you here, my friend. What was Paul's best DX? I think when we heard low noises by a lady cat some corners around meow. Oh man. Well, somebody, my best friend Caroline, told me that I wasn't an atheist. I was agnostic, meaning that I personally don't believe in what the religions are actually sending out as a message. But my scientific mind keeps me just, open enough to understand that things that I don't understand can exist. Because, let's face it, so many things that 100 years ago would have probably looked impossible. Just look at the internet. 100 years ago, who would have said that there's a guy in Canada that's going to do a live show from his home that people are going to watch over the world via video? And they probably would have said, yeah, you're nuts. Same thing like 100 years ago. Somebody would have said, hey, we're going to go and walk on the moon. They would have said, nah, never going to happen. So, I think a scientific mind needs to be open enough to understand that stuff weird stuff that you don't understand can be. And a friend of mine is very religious, and we had so many discussions over a couple of beers, And one of the things that I said, because he's against a lot of the scientific stuff, and that I have a hard time. I mean, you can believe in God if you want, and have your faith, but when you bring God in to kind of say that what science is finding isn't true, that I can't. That is, for me, it's okay, no more discussion. But because I always told him, I said, okay, we'll face it as it is. Nobody ever said God doesn't exist. We have proof that he doesn't. Totally agree. Like I also say is science isn't saying God doesn't exist. It's just what I told him is that science explains, if you believe in God, we'll put it as science explains what God created. It ain't saying God doesn't exist. It just explains what God created. That's it. If we got to put it in these simple terms, we'll put it like that. That's it. So, Okay, what else do we have? I like Mickey Dalmage. Nice interval signal from Rye, Italy. That would be nice. I got the birds. I could make interval signals. Do you want a JK new Christmas gift? The Texan 9000 or 900 or whatever series? Yeah, maybe. Jeff Sombra New House. Notice 4210 RT2Y activity almost every night, especially at midnight. Is this a ham radio frequency? Nope. The ham radio band is between 3,500 and 4,000 kilohertz. It's an 80 meter band. 4,000 to 4,500, lots of utility stuff. On 4210, you might be actually listening in on what is some kind of encrypted radio teletype from some organizations. There's quite a few. I was seeing the other day one of the guys talking about or asking questions about 4006 kilohertz. On 4006, there's a radio teletype that's there, and I think I can hear it even in the daytime. If I go here, 4006 or 4004, somewhere around that. Yeah, look, it's right here. No, it's not. I can't hear it right now. So I hear it really nighttime, around 4004 to 4005 kilohertz. Somebody was asking the other day, what's that? It's like, oh, it's some kind of, organization using a encrypted radio teletype. No, I did not catch anything about D-Day amateur stations, Jerry. I would have liked that, though. I did get a lot of different types of stations, but, what else do we have? PLF radio, no, do you want the JKs? Yeah, when you would listen to all the British and French stations and also in Italian and Spanish local stations, you have a lot to do, I guarantee. I know, I tune in the one that I tune a lot, and there's a Swedish SDR that I tune, and it's very sensitive. And I start listening in there and sometimes go down to the long wave or the medium wave, and it's like, wow, so much stuff in there. It's just crazy. So yeah, the PL990 and S9900, these are the numbers. So what else do we have? As Bullfrog89 says, never able to move to Europe, but there's online SDRs, absolutely. Delva65 says, I love to take my equipment out and see what I can listen to. Got a camping trip planned in a few weeks. Oh, cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. PLF Radio's got Vatican Radio, 7360. Cool. Matt is going to Washington State next month. We'll bring the PL600, some wire, and probably that's all. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with that. Oh, I'll put you mod here, Bullfrog89. No discrimination. Here we go, Bullfrog89. You're a mod here too now. Pretty cool. As Matt says, all the more reason to be a mod. Raymond Chandler, sound good, but picture out of focus. A lot of 15 minutes and now. It could be my end. Yeah, it's because your frame rate is too low. You can, when you're on YouTube, it tells you how much the size of the picture. So it's going to tell you, 720p or 240p, 360p. When it gets down, it gets all fuzzy because the video quality is too bad. Because there's no reason here I look good, or so to say. And so I should look good on the stream too. My stream connection is pretty good also. So technically I should be okay. Terry Cogan's Scandinavian Weekend Radio begins 2 days of broadcast on 6170, 11690, 5980, 11720 at 21 UT. Found out more at shortwaveradio.net. So, you know what? I've tried that station so many times and never heard anything. 21 UT, which is right now, actually. Let's check it out. 11720 and 11690. Do I hear something on 11720? Anybody hearing anything? Got nothing here. And I got nothing on 11690. I got 0 on the 25 meter band. And at this time of day, I mean, the sun is setting in like 3 hours and a half from now. Sorry, guys. 5980 and 6170 is still too low a frequency here. I'm just gonna do a little something here for Mr. Paul that is wondering what's happening with his chair. Here we go. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see the. I've never heard any guys. Any guys in Europe hearing it? I've never heard Scandinavian Weekend Radio. Current Sid guy, nice to have you here. Arthur C. Clarke. Any technology sufficiently advanced will seem as magic to the uneducated mind. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Matt says, hey, I remember the video phones in the movie Aliens and how far off that seemed. Like maybe in my lifetime, but who knows? Look at us now. Absolutely. I mean, we've advanced, one of the things that was talked a lot in the 80s was, video phones. Until everybody understood when we talk to each other, we don't want to see our faces. We just want to talk. And, I mean, look at that today. We've got these things. And we can actually do video calls. And these are small and portable and very powerful. I mean, who would have thought even in the 80s that by today I'd own a powerful pocket computer that does all of that? I mean, totally nuts. Honestly, it's totally nuts when you think about it. Oh, man. Radio is still magical. Max Headstrong says, radio still seems magical to me, even a $10 pocket radio. It is still magical, honestly. Radio is amazing. I mean, when you think about the fact that you're receiving invisible waves with some device, and you're listening to some, listening into some, voice, or it's just crazy. It is magic. It is magic. Man. E1 DJK says, I rarely found a channel on YouTube where communication between YouTuber mods and usual users is so friendly and perfect like here. Trolls have no chance. Nope. And that's why there's a lot of moderators. I mean, it's actually to help out in making sure that things are okay and there's no bad language and no idiots around. I think you guys are doing a great job over here. That's for sure. Hey, Shitty Pyro 90, nice to have you on board. Doesn't matter. At least you're here. Oh, man. Yeah. How about we let DE1 DJK in on moderator status? You've proven your worth. So DE1 DJK moderator. How about that? Anybody else you guys would recommend? Eric Cottrell, 4271 CFH, they don't broadcast. I haven't heard their broadcast in months. They're off the air. They've been off the air for a while. CFH Halifax. And, but I do keep, we never know. CFH Halifax, which does weather facts and radio teletype, went off the air once. And it wasn't on for like a year or more. And then Sunday, I tune and I hear it sending weather pictures, and I'm like, what the hell? And then never heard it again. It was like switched on for a while. I don't know. So what else do we have? But you know what, D1 DJK, in the summertime, 19 and 16 meters can be surprising even after dark. Terry Colgan just ordered a Conicom GP5 SSB, third generation, general purpose radio. Sounded up Texan PL 360. It's actually a Texan PL 365. And the only bad thing, the two bad things I'll say, Terry, it's an amazing radio. It is sensitive and it's really, really good at what it does. The easy tuning mode is amazing. It's sensitive and it's really cool. And pretty much when I use it, I use it only with the ETM. I let it scan through with easy tuning mode, and I check out what stations it received. The lack of a keypad is actually making it tough to tune in some frequencies. You know, I mean, if you have a specific frequency you want to go to, you're going to find that a keypad would have been fun because it's kind of tough. And be wary about one thing about the Counticom GP5. It drains batteries even when not used. So make sure whatever you put in there is rechargeable, because if you leave it on the shelf for like a month and use it, you'll see the batteries are dead. It's kind of a flaw that is a pretty serious flaw. If you're using alkaline batteries, that means you got to remember to remove them from the radio before you actually put it on the shelf. That said, you should always remove alkaline batteries from the radios before. But anyways, I don't really mind that much because I use it with rechargeables. So even if the rechargeables are dead, all I do is I simply take other rechargeables and pop them in. But just remember that. But for the rest, very sensitive. The easy tuning mode, the best in all the radios. It tunes well. It searches these stations really well. It's faster than the one that I have on a Texan PL 380. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. It's a nice radio. Elton Byington says, read the article about the new Texan radios on the SWL site. Says not to expect them this year and sounds pretty gloomy about them. We'll see when they get there, honestly. Yep, Matambali, the amateur radio, because there's three types of shifts actually on the radio teletype. Typically, anything that is outside the amateur band is most of the time shifted at 425 or 850 hertz, and the amateur radio teletype is 170 hertz. It's actually takes less bandwidth. Rick Satter, nice to have you here, my friend. So D1D JK has bought a new used car. Joe Sombra Nuance, 4435 kHz once this year at the same time. Minneapolis 03 UTC. I got some people talking on USB. Couldn't identify what language. That's English, Chinese, or Spanish. There's a lot of that going on. Anybody that tunes around the shortwave bands in the 4, 5, 6, 7 megahertz range, so much talk in either lower or upper sideband in all sorts of languages. It's kind of mysterious when you tune around. I've been chasing the Nunavut VFF weather station, maritime weather station, in Iqaluit, Nunavut, Canada, which is kind of interesting. If you look at the frequencies they broadcast on, they're off. A lot of times they're off the schedule. So, for example, I've been listening to Navtex weather on 8416 upper sideband. Actually 8415 upper sideband, because 8416 is the center frequency. And I noticed that it's supposed to start at 0330. Last night it started at 0320, and the day before it started at 0350. So if you want to hear it, it's always there, but it's kind of starting at weird times, not always at 0330 when it's supposed to. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of nice and fun to listen to Arctic Canada station. It's kind of really a lot of fun. Matt says, Vatican Radio, I missed their 1615 broadcast on 15595 in the summer. That one was brief, but usually had really good reporting. Yep. PLF radio, Gilles, on a what if video. You compare the XH data and Ascension on SSB. I think the SH data was better. Yeah, it is. The XH data seemed better, absolutely. And I've had a lot of interesting observations on the Sangean that I'll be talking about, because it's interesting. There's a lot of flaws in the electronics, I can tell you that. So pretty cool. What else do we have? Right now the XH Data D808 is an amazing radio. I have to say, it's one of my favorites. It's moved up the scale to one of my favorites, absolutely. And it's funny because I got an XH Data D38 that is crappy as a radio. And if I would have based my purchase only on should I spend my money on an XH Data D808 after getting a D38, I would have said I'm not buying any XH Data radios ever again. Johnny the Xer, nice to have you on board. W3JMC from Philadelphia Burbs. Yeah, Terry Colgan, it's possible that my clock isn't exactly on time. I forgot to set it before, so it might be like 10 seconds off or something. What else do we have? D1AJK Scandinavian weekend comes with very low transmitting power, so it's not all over Europe, I hear, I think. Yeah, I guess. I've never heard it here. It would be nice to hear that, though. Branson W, nice to have you here, my friend. Randy, nice. Randy A. Jones, nice to have you here. Trying to figure out what radio to buy. I am a ham, but I never talk because I love to just listen to stuff. Ham Radio Outlet is selling me to just buy a SDR, but not sure. It all will depend on one thing, okay? Do you want portable or not? And do you like knobs or not? And do you want to be dependent on a computer? That's the questions you need to answer. If you don't want to use a computer all the time you listen to the radio, an SDR is not a good idea. That's for sure. If you don't mind using a radio, RSP1A or any SDR play RSPs are amazing SDRs. This is what is in the background here, and I love the RSP1A that I got here. But if you like bells and whistles, then if you like knobs, and if you like being able to just detach yourself from a computer and listen in with a box, yeah, then an SDR is not for you. It all depends what you're ready for sure. Oh, man. Yeah, Mick. Here we go, Mick. Moderator status. Anybody else you think is worth? Of course, you got to be here for a little while. We got to kind of... No? Oh, yeah, Bullfrog 89. If the GP5 had a keypad, that would be an amazing radio. For sure. And I like the form factor. It's unique and so different from everything else. I like the long form factor of the GP5. Pierre Mondrian student, nice to have you here. Caught a lot of E-skips last week. The XH data is far better than a Counticon 365 or GP5. Would not buy it again. So interesting. I need to compare those. I need to compare the XH data and the Counticon GP5. It'd be nice videos. Ice Cream Gecko, nice to have you here. Just found out about your channel in the past few days, and I was looking for info on the Texan R9012. It came in today, and I like it so far. Thank you for helping me decide. Cool. Welcome aboard, my friend. Kevin Wood's been looking at World's Last Chance website. Oh, man. The only JK says that SH Data really must be the best radio at the moment for its price range on every corner. I hear good comments about it. Oh, totally. It is really, really amazing for what it is, for sure. JDX, if your batteries die in a GP5 SSB, you'll lose all your program frequencies. Yeah, that is also something they need to fix. Absolutely. Take care, Danny Shortwave Radio DX. Have fun at Walmart. I haven't been there such a long time. Jordan Cloutier, nice to have you here. Recently got into shortwave hobby. Picked up an Ethan Grandic satellite handheld radio. What are your thoughts on my choice of radio? You know what? Pretty much everything I've seen about Ethan Grandic satellite branded receivers are pretty good. So I think you should have a pretty good experience. Do you have any more detail on what model actually? But I'm pretty sure you probably have a good good radio in your hands for sure. Good Mandrian student says almost never uses SPL 365. Hey, Rick Ray, nice to have you on board from Turkey, my friend. Brent, do I like my XH Data better than the Texan radios? Yes. Simply put, yes. There's an edge, there's a little something more on the XH Data. It also has, you know what helps me also in that decision? It's the fact that it has many bandwidths for AM and SSB signals, including even a 500 Hertz filter for CW, which you don't see on any other radios. That said, I'm not brushing off my Texan PL680 or anything, because I think it's a great radio still. But I have to say the XH Data is an impressive package. Really an impressive little radio. Ray Bennett, nice to have you on board, enjoying the show with his big rig in Southern California. Cool. Nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Alan321, nice to have you on board from Norway. Stephen Hayes, good evening, my friend Steve from G0SDE from the UK. Pretty cool. Miguel Mensch says I'm spot on with WWV right now. Yeah, with the delay on the stream. Oh man. What else do we have? Johnny DXer, are you into digital modes, DMR, D-Star, and so on? I haven't done any of that yet, and I need to brush and get into it. That's for sure. I need to check that out. One mode that I haven't tried yet and I want to try is FT4 on the shortwave bands. I want to try a few things there. Ray Lyle, nice to have you here. WA9211SWL, Southern Illinois. Randy A. Jones likes knobs. They say that there is no radio that will cover the range of an SDR. Well, there are, but they are expensive. You know, like the transceivers. It depends on how much you want to pay. How much you want to pay, Randy, for a radio. And what you're looking for, honestly. Yeah, well, there are SDR radios, yes, there are absolutely, David Arden, that are autonomous and work within their package, but Almay Sam says, that's why I picked up a Nikon C7300, because I mean, if you got the money and you want to have something that performs across the bands, from long wave all the way up to the UHF range, the ICOM ICR 8600, I think you're going to have an amazing radio there, but that will, you know, that's an expensive $3,000 radio. Bossy Guy Mike, nice to have you on board, my friend. Are you really that bossy? Oh, man. The 7300. If you don't, because the 7300 stops at, doesn't it stop like at 6 meters? It's not a full coverage up to the UHF range. If all you want is HF, the 7300 looks like a good choice, absolutely. And what else do we have? What else do we have? Sidvik, nice to have you on board, my friend. Bossy Guy Mike, am I affiliated with the Shortwave Listening Post blog? Yes, I am. I do have an account and everything. I am welcome to do stuff there. I have not done anything yet, and I have been, being told to come on, use that possibility and everything. I just haven't done anything, but I do have the possibility to post and do stuff on the swling.com website. Absolutely, Bossy Guy Mike. Absolutely. What else do we have? Mick, wow, didn't expect that. My laptop just levitated. Oh, man. Yeah, Brent, I saw a peak at 137 watching, which is not bad at all. Simplio, some big power stations on 27025. Let's see if there's some sporadic E right now. Anything here? Oh yeah, look at that. There's some stuff on the Super Bowl channels, for sure. But the ICOM I see R8600, like Matt says. That would be a wideband receiver. It's actually an SDR, honestly. It's actually a software-defined radio. But it's all contained in a box with knobs and everything, like a regular radio. Robert Prosper, nice to have you here. I totally agree. I like my CountyCom GP5, but tuning is frustrating. When you want to go to a specific frequency, I actually have abandoned sometimes. I remember wanting to tune 27025 to check Super Bowl channel. And it was just so complicated and took so much time that I'd like, okay, to hell with it. I'm going to go get my other radios and just punch in on the keypad. I do totally agree there's a lot of frustration in there. That said, if you want to listen in to the international broadcast stations, the easy tuning mode is one of the best of all. PLF Radio, any shows tomorrow? No shows tomorrow, but I will explain something, and I think we'll explain it right now. So, I will not have Saturday shows until September. So I know some of you are gonna like say, "Oh no Saturday shows, please." But I will promise you one thing that will be different. There will be random shows. I will add random shows that will be at any time of day, or any day of the week. They can happen anytime. So I will add that, but remove Saturday shows because of a lot of little things happening right now. I want to have my full weekend. I want to have my Saturday and my Sunday off. I think it's better like that because there's a lot of stuff happening, and there's a lot of activities coming up in the summertime that I will be doing on the weekends with friends. So Saturday is a no-go, but it will come back. I'll probably come back on Saturdays in September, unless doing the random stuff is more interesting for you guys. If you guys say, you know what, the hell with the Saturday show, your random shows are more interesting. And by the way, random means Saturday is not out of the question. It means it could show up in a random show. But I promise that there will be shows and not just the Friday shows. And to give you guys an idea, last night I almost came up live very late, like 0400. I was tuning in and I was waiting for 0300. Sorry, I was tuning in and waiting for Iqaluit, and I thought, you know what, maybe a late live would be kind of nice. So there will be random shows. They can happen any day except Sundays. Sundays is pretty much off the chart for me because Sundays, since I've been joining the International Radio Report with Sheldon on Sunday mornings on CKUT, I've been taking that time to just spend it downtown and have a few beers downtown at the end of the day. So it's kind of a full day where I'm out of, I'm not here. But there will be random shows that are going to pop up. Now, will there be, and that's the thing, because I know some of you would like to have an advanced notice. If I do have an advanced notice possibility, I will actually let you know at least a day before. Okay, tomorrow we're going to have a show at that time. The shows are going to be at different times. I could show up at 14 UTC, like I can show up at 04 UTC, like I can show up at 18 UTC or 20 UTC or whatever. They're not going to be at the same time. One of the reasons why, I also want to kind of take the pulse of different audiences around the world that aren't available always at 20 UTC. So random shows, but no Saturday shows for the summer. But random shows during the week, that will happen. And anytime, just be aware that anytime it could happen. So that's going to happen. But the Friday 20 UTC show, that is there to stay. It's the standard. It is actually the most popular show also. The 20 UTC on Fridays is the one that always has the biggest audience. So that one, of course, will stay for sure. So that's what's going to happen. Branson W says, by the way, tip 5140 AM, Radio Charleston International, Ted on air. I like to listen to him. Is it possible to hear from you? Isn't that one of the... Where is he from? Is he European or North American? I've never heard on 5140. But I think it's a European one, right? I've never heard 5140. I did hear Laser Hot Hits 6205, and I hear some weak ones coming in through the noise on between 6200 and 6300. What else do we have? David in Barcelona says AirSpy HF Plus, greatest DR2. Just got one for free. Wanted at an end of year drop by creator. Land the prog over Twitter. Cool. Almis PL 880 has multiple bandwidths. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Nice. Terry Gogan, WWV is monitored and texted, just announced time as 21:18. Yeah, and you must have heard the solar report. Marvin Motz, nice to have you on board from Japan, Marvin. It's probably a Jordan Cloutier. It's probably a pretty good radio, honestly. D1DJK PL310 ET has also many bandwidths. It's just a $40 radio. Oh yeah, it does. Even the PL380 has multiple bandwidths. And on that side, they are the same. It's just that the XH Data has SSB, so it has multiple bandwidths in single sideband also, which is kind of interesting. What else do we have? Let's go down. Try to catch up a little bit. Robert Prosper says NASA is opening up the ISS to tourism. Yep, absolutely. Initial price, $50 million. So, hey, you guys, you want me to start a GoFundMe and have Gilles in space? I promise, if you guys give me $50 million, I'm going to the International Space Station, And I will be sending out pictures in Slow Scan TV. Brent, are you attending Winterfest next year? I will if I get, because I'm waiting for a very important paper that I need. And without it, I can't. So if I get my paper, yes, I'll be there for sure, Brent. That I can tell you. Bossy guy Mike says, "Lol, in point of fact, I am not all that bossy at all." Okay, well, that's good to know. Oh man. The world's first ISS honeymoon. Oh yeah, Robert Prosper. That'd be nice. Wow. Current Sid guy, nice to have you on board. Microsoft Surface repair tool demanded a reboot. Oh, really? Wow. Ray Lyle, hey Joe, when is your loop antenna going to arrive? It's stuck at customs. It's here in Montreal, but it's stuck at customs. Fast load, nice to have you here. And yes, he's got a FRG7. Hey, that's my shirt. You want one, eh? You know what, Fast load? Next time I go to, they have those almost every time. The next time I go to the YouTube meetup, I'll try to get one for you. Is large okay? I'll just need to know. I'll pick it up. You can all mention Saturday, August 17th for CIDX barbecue. I will be there absolutely, and I will be doing a live show from there as usual every week. Yeah, that's the thing, Brent. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it yet. Officially, it'd be nice, of course, to kind of have an advance notice of the random show. So I'll try to give some kind of advance notice, but random show during whatever day. We'll see what we can do for that. Simon Templar needs your weekends. Like the idea of random shows. Cool. Nice. Good Enough Radio says good idea. So yeah, Shady Pyro 20 channel 6 had some Sportic E here. 27025 once again. Look at that. There's some. It's not super strong, but it's there. Although, look at that here on 27285. It was a strong one. Pretty good stuff.
I appreciate it, man. You sounding good out here yourself. Have a good one, be blessed. Worldwide 75.
Yeah, I like that guy. Wow. So, yes, I will try to post in advance so everybody knows. So, yep, CB band. That means 10 meter band is probably open also. Brent says, appreciate all your effort. Thank you very much. Hey, take care, PLF Radio. It was nice to have you on board, my friend. Atom Valley, WWV, 25 megahertz, jumping in occasionally. Shows up here when E-Skip crowds up the CB band. Oh, cool. That's nice. David says, oh yes, surprise show sounds cool. Wolfrog 89 says, you do what's best for you. We're along for the ride. Cool. Yeah, there is an email notification from YouTube. Absolutely, when you do when I do live shows, so you can check that out for sure. But I will try to. I will use Twitter for sure, Mick. By the way, for those that I don't know and want to follow me on Twitter, so my Twitter is, whoops, my Twitter is at, and here, I just posted it, at Shortwave Radios with an S at the end. You can follow me there. Every time there's going to be a random show, I will post it there at least an hour in advance, if not more. If I know in advance, like if I wake up in the morning and I think, well, today's a live show day, I will post it as soon as I know there's going to be one. D1DJK, I think the idea of a Friday show is perfect. Everybody knows when and where is the show and can deal with it. When nobody knows when the next show is, not a good deal. Yeah, that's why I'm keeping the Friday show is always going to be like that. Because, I mean, everybody knows, and you get the habit of it. It's like a TV show. That's why a TV show is always at the same time and the same day. You get a habit of when, it's there, and it's there. So, of course, 20 UT show is there on Fridays because everybody knows we're there on Fridays at 20 UT. Rodolfo65 says, picking up some great signals on 27025 here in New York City. Takes me back to my CB radio days. Yeah, I mean, when I hear that, it brings me back to when I had my first walkie-talkies with only channel 14 on it, with all the skip on it. It was amazing. Pretty cool. Rob says, you'll last only 50 million. Only? Come on! Oh, man. 7 Templar coming 2023 live from the ISS show. Oh, man. I want to have Paul in space. I want to bring the cat. Imagine Paul floating the ISS towards the camera. Oh, man. That would be nice. Oh, God. What else do we have? Sex in Space live from the ISS. Maybe it will be the first stream of YouPorn or XTube. Okay. Let's not go there. Branson W says, thank you, this is a good time for me in the Czech Republic. Cool. Take care of PLF Radio, of course. McGlone, a show on Periscope. I've been wanting for a long time to have shows on multiple platforms at the same time. Maybe I could check that out. I'll try to do that, D1DJK. If I know in advance enough of when I'm going to do a show, I'll post a video saying, okay, this week, if I can, I'll try to do that. Post like, okay, this week on Wednesday, 1900 UTC or whatever. I will do the best that I can on the random shows to actually announce them for sure. I enjoyed the quiet noise floor on a Texan PL600. At first I had it up loud to even hear the noise floor till the station came in and blasted my ears off. Oh man, Eddie SX, nice to have you here, my friend. The man, Angel, the man, the myth, the radio guru. Cheers, VA3 BUF. Nice to have you here, my friend. Pretty cool. So I got some new Twitter followers from IC here. Brent, can someone explain the purpose of bias T? Now that will be something that somebody will need to explain, or I'll need to check it out and explain it myself eventually. There's a few things I need. Oh man. What else do we have? Rick Satter, did you buy anything from China? It takes forever to get your package. You know what? I've been, Rick, I've actually been in a situation where everything I actually got from China in the past 6 months have been really fast in their delivery, much faster than in the past. I don't know what happened or changed, but I've been having really good experience with the shipping from China lately. So kind of interesting. Where I'm having problems, and I don't know if it has to do with all that's happening, but I have less. I'm less inclined to actually buy from the United States, and the reason why, in the last year, what I get from China is always coming through and always okay. But what I get from the United States, I always got to pay some fees, some taxes, and all sorts of things. And it's sad because that makes me want to not buy from the US anymore. Because I always get these unexpected, oh, it's going to... Look at the W6 LVP loop. I'm waiting. It's stuck at customs in Montreal. I'm sure I'm going to have to pay like $100 to get it. And it already cost me $400 and some dollars Canadian. I mean, I get it that you can pay taxes and stuff. I got no problem with that. But it rarely happens on anything coming from China. But it happens all the time now when I buy things from the United States. And actually, when I bought this little radio, the EVI radio from Amazon that has the subcarrier audio of FM stations, Amazon USA actually told me, well, if you want to make sure that it costs nothing when it gets to your place, you got to pay an extra $25 of shipping. That will cover all the fees and all the taxes and all the things. And so it actually makes things so expensive suddenly that buying from the United States, unfortunately, is something that I don't want to do anymore. And it's sad because, I mean, that only does one thing. Hurt you guys in the US and your economy, because we'll buy less stuff. And plus the fact that you got to know that, you know, if I buy a $1 US thing, it actually costs $1.30 Canadian. So the exchange rate is bad also, which means it gets so expensive that you're like, whoa. I mean, I'm looking at the antenna, the W6 LVP loop, and I really hope it's going to be good, because if they charge me like $50 or $100 when I get it, I'll be installing a $550 antenna, and it better be good, because if it's not, this guy's going to be a $550 guy that's not going to be happy, you know. I got no problem buying stuff and paying for stuff, but there come some limits at some point. Rob says, Mr. Paul the astronaut, great idea. WOHP 1390, nice to have you here. Drink more beer. Just got out of hospital 2 days and surgery for kidney stones. W8PRR, Rick in Ohio. Wow, poor guy. I hear these are really hurt a lot. I hope you're better now. Robert Prosper says, dogs have made it into space. The Russian dog Laika. So why not cats? Yeah. Paul the cat, the first astronaut in space, the first cat astronaut. Dark Noise NL, nice to have you on board from the Netherlands. Almesem says 27025 coming in good in central Ohio. So pretty good. Longer than that, Laika was sent in space by the Russians so they sent Sputnik in 57. So it was like the late 50s or early 60s when they sent the dog into space. Madam Bali, a bias T adapter is meant to inject power into coax to supply a preamplifier installed near the antenna. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm learning. Oh yeah, Mick, you're right. Jonesy, the cat in Alien, which actually looks like Paul the cat. If I remember well, he's the same color. He looks like Paul the cat in Alien. Bullfrog 89 says, I've had packages from China take a week, also many months. Also packages in Florida, I've taken a month, and a package from London in 3 days. You know what? The The interesting thing about Canada Post, a few years back, when I would order from Canada, say I would order something from Toronto or Vancouver, a big city to a big city, I would have had maximum 2 days it'd be here. So even with regular, the most inexpensive shipping. So I would buy something from Toronto early in the morning on Tuesday. I was almost guaranteed to get it on Wednesday. It was as fast as that, even with the most basic shipping. And I noticed that in the past couple of years, it's kind of slowed down. Now, if I buy something from Vancouver and I get an actual shipping notice, what used to take 2 days within Canada takes a week. So they changed some of the stuff. I don't know if it's because they want us to pay more for the shipping charges, but they did change some of the stuff for sure. Robert Prosper, I'd like to hear more about the clock radio over my left shoulder. This one. This is an American 5 AM radio. It's a tube radio. So I don't know if I can safely take it out without breaking anything. It seems that no. Because I would have taken out the cover. So it's an all-American 5. For those that don't know, AM radios, the cheapest AM radios of the 50s, 60s, that were made tube radios, they were made in a fashion that were called all-American 5s. 5 tubes. Every radio had the same 5 tubes. So for example, this one, and this one are American 5s. I could interchange the tubes between all of them if I want, because they're all the same numbered tubes. And it was a design that was created to make the cheapest radios possible. So this one is exception. It has a clock, and actually I should plug it in and have the clock work, because I think you guys can probably see this clock here. Yeah, you can see it. I should plug it in and make sure that it works every time I'm live. You guys would see the correct time here, because the clock works. And of course here you got a switch on the side. You can actually use this as an alarm clock. This turns on the radio at a specific time, which is a nice thing. It's mechanical, but it's kind of nice for the time. And so this is actually an AM radio. It goes from something like 550 to 1600 kilohertz. I'll plug it in one day and do a live show where we're gonna tune around the American 5 tube receivers. So I got 3 here, but I've got at least 10 in storage right there that I would need to take out. And I want to actually, because I was talking about how I'm going to change my setup. So right now I've got my ICOM here that you guys don't see well. So I've got an R8500 right here, and I've got, of course, the SDR up there, but I've got analog stuff here, including a Bush AM medium wave and long wave radio right here. That is a transistor radio from the early 70s or late 60s. I'm going to change this side. Is going to become the digital side. So I'll have the ICOM, I'll have the SDR, I'll have the Yaesu, I'll have, of course, the scanner, the Pro 2006 scanner, and everything that is analog, like this radio here, like those radios there, are going to be on the other side, and they're all going to be plugged in and working in good condition. So when I alternate between the other side and this side will be digital, that side will be analog. By that I mean digital displays, because I mean like the ICOM 8500 here is an analog radio but with a digital display. So what I mean, they're going to have digital displays on them, but the other side will be analog only. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to make kind of a difference, kind of a different way of doing things. Joe Lewis, nice to have you here. What's the best shortwave radio at $150? That's a great at SSB, also single sideband. If you're talking of a portable, you know, 150, get yourself an XH Data D808. You're going to have a great portable. If you want a software-defined radio, you can have a SDR Play RSP1A SDR that is going to be an amazing radio, but it needs to be plugged into a computer to work. So it all depends what you want. But that would be my two recommendations depending on what you want to have. Texan receivers are good. Texan PL660 is also a good choice. But right now the XH Data D808 is kind of my premium choice for a sub $150 radio. And if you want to have tabletop, well, look at the used market, maybe, you know, an old Kenwood, an old Yaesu, an old Icon could be nice. Sirkin Katirchi, nice to have you here. Nice to have you on board. Sirkin, Silicon. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it well. It's like my name. My name gets so messed up when people try to, you know. Nick Mayakovsky to put a dog before first human in 59. Yeah, we're somewhere around there. 59, late 50s. Late 50s. So, kind of interesting. To give you an idea, the last four or five things I purchased from China took less than 2 weeks to get here. Vancouver Island DXer, nice to have you here. Says to add what Matambale said, Bias T avoids having to have a separate pair of wires to carry DC power to a preamplifier at the antenna. Cool. Matt says Leica was 1959. Yeah, that's what I think, late 50s. Pretty much. Robert Prosper, Paul the Castronaut. That sounds a little weird. The Catstronaut? Let's invert the S and the T. A Catstronaut. You know, Matt, we have the same type of things happening here with Canada Post. Canada Post for a long time, the guys. I mean, I'm okay with well-paid jobs, and I mean, being a postman is a crazy job. I know. They are extremely well paid. They're very well paid. And that's been for a long time a really complex issue here at Canada Post, because the governments are saying, well, you know, you guys have crazy pension plans and everything, and we just can't continue like that. And of course, there's more, you know, there are more packages in the mail, but there's not a lot of letters anymore. So all of that together, you know, they kind of backed off now, but they wanted us to have these boxes at the corner of the streets or in the parks where we would have to go walk and see if we have mail in those boxes rather than have delivery at home. Now they kind of backed off, so we have delivery at home. But you know, the other problem is people that have these boxes where you need to get your mail. There's a lot of mail theft, and I don't see I can't imagine my $100 radios being left in a little box somewhere in the middle of a park. I'm not kind of super happy with that kind of decision, honestly. Jerry K, nice to have you on board. Are you familiar with the 700 megahertz trunked network we use in the States? Not really. Not really. Yeah, for sure, Tony Turtle. Our ancestors were all some kind of tribes some years ago. Absolutely. Callum, too. Nice to have you here, Callum. Nice to have you on board. Hope you're okay, my friend. What else do we have? Brent says, Jill, I'm looking at a realistic DX400 online. Is that a good radio? It's a decent radio. The realistic DX400 was, I believe, a decent radio for the time. For sure. Oh, really? As early as that? Wow, I didn't think they did it so early. Like Sputnik 2 on November 3rd, 1957. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, tariffs are crazy. XL 290 says Leica was like for 1950 wrong. It was November 57. Amazing. Max said strong. He says governments always come up with clever ways to steal. Yeah, pretty much. Hey guys, talking about stealing, which I'm not. If you want to help me out with a PayPal donation, would be very welcome. You can, of course, send me a little something through PayPal at paypal.me/shortwave, or if you go to your PayPal account, just send it to the Yahoo email that I just posted here. And of course, you become a patron on patreon.com/radio and computers. Bullfroggy man. You can become one of, we've got 11 patrons right now, giving a little something every month. It helps me tremendously in paying the bills, the internet, everything I need. I mean, I need equipment, I need lighting systems. It's not a free ride. I'm not doing this, you know. It's not free for me to do all of this. I got to pay for all the internet bills and stuff. And I got a donation last show. I got a nice donation from a guy saying, you know what, I do consider this as being a kind of a yearly subscription, like a magazine or anything else, and that I really enjoy your shows. And I am in a period of time right now where I love doing these shows, but they are time consuming. I mean, doing 2-3 hour shows, 4 hour shows, thinking what we're going to talk about, and doing this is time consuming, takes a lot of energy. One of the reasons I'm not doing the Saturday shows, at least for the summer, I'll do random shows and everything, but it is something that takes a lot of my time also. And it's kind of my job, I don't have a official other job. My job is doing stuff on YouTube. So, of course, it helps tremendously when you do donations. And you guys have been nice and generous. And, I mean, any donations help. And don't worry about the amount. That is the last problem. I mean, if everybody would give $1, it would amount for a nice, it would be a nice amount. And it's a very small amount for everyone, Unfortunately, 1% of you are donating. It's okay. I still get people saying, you should do shows that you got to pay to see. You should have super chat. I don't want that. I don't want to have two types of people: the ones that pay for something and the ones that don't have the money to pay, that won't see anything or won't be available to whatever I do because they can't afford it. Because I know that both ends exist. I mean, some people can't afford to pay for anything on the internet. They have very, very low income. But you all got to understand also about how it's, this is my job, and there is a cost to bringing everything at of doing these live shows. So thanks for those that have donated. And like Bullfrog 89 says, Paul needs to eat. I mean, he's not fat enough. He's a nice little cat. I could buy some treats and even have him eat some treats live on the show if you guys want to see. So think about it. I mean, I know it's not something that you have to do, but it is helping me tremendously in bringing you these shows every Fridays at 20 UTC, and having these random shows from time to time. It costs a lot of money. I'll have some of the random shows. I'll be using my internet connectivity on my phone because I'll be out of the house. Some of these live shows, random shows, will actually be from maybe a DXpedition site. That requires me to have a more expensive plan on my phone because I need some data to do live shows from there. So, it might seem, well, you're doing YouTube stuff and you got monetization, and monetization is okay. I'm not getting rich off of it, but I'm getting a nice living off of it. But you know what? I also spend a lot more because if I didn't have live shows to do, I would have another plan on the internet that would cost me half the price that I'm paying right now. My phone, same thing on the phone. I would have half the plan, half the price that I'm paying on my phone for the same thing. So, not just to rub it in here, but thanks for those that donated. You know who you are, and thanks for being supportive of what I do. And now we're going to say hello to Frozen Solid. Nice to have you here, my friend. And we're going to check for, I believe, Spain is in English now. So there's some music. But 9690 kilohertz from Spain, pretty good. Take care, D1 DJK. Nice to have you on board, my friend. And for the next show, we'll have either something random next week, or of course next Friday, 2000 hours UTC, Friday the 14th of June, as we are heading into summer. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So I think it's going to be really, really cool to see all of that. Okay, so Spain is supposed to be in English, 22 UT. Here we go.
Maria here, and instrumentalist Ariel Abramovich playing the vihuela of a program that they put together under the title Imaginario, or we'll find out perhaps the English in a minute. The performance in the Chapel of the Aranjuez Palace, just south of Madrid, will take the audience back to the 16th century with music.
9690, Spain.
Who may be new to many listeners. And our guest today is Ariel Abramovich, whom I'd like to welcome very warmly to the program. Welcome, Ariel. Thank you very much. Before we continue, let me say a few words about Ariel Abramovich. Born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, he was still in his teens.
Pretty good signal from 9690, Radio Exterior de España. And coming to us from Spain in English, and of course there will be French in 30 minutes time. Sorry. So Keegan, nice to have you on board from Arkansas. Pretty cool. JD Williamson says Spain, nice catch. Yeah, Spain is easy. It's a good one here. David Snyder, nice to have you on board. Nice to have you on board. Joe, the music is very nice from Spain, 9690, but it's not English. Yeah, it is English. Um, 2300 UT. Nice to have you here, David. As we have, Max Strong says, so many great used tabletops on the market. Absolutely. Imagine, I was thinking about that the other day. Imagine all the radios that are in attics or garages or in boxes somewhere that people haven't used in years, that people like us could use and would love to actually have. There are tons of them out there. I mean, I'm sure there are tons of them out there. I always talk about the same story. These American Fives that I was talking earlier here, I got those for peanuts, like $1, $2. And they come from the same place, almost all of them. There's this old woman. She was like an 80-year-old Polish or Ukrainian woman. I don't remember which nationality, but she was Eastern European. And she could have been from Romania. I don't remember anymore. I think it was from Poland. And downtown there is a bazaar, a kind of a in a church. There's a place where they actually have every Thursdays, and I'm not sure if it still happens. I need to check that out. I haven't been there a long time. So every Thursdays in the afternoon and evening, they would have, a sale of all sorts of, for the most part, junk. But there was this old woman that was there, and I would go there every Thursdays because she would always have at least one of those. And sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. But honestly, for $2, works or not, you take it and you go home with it. You hope it works. If it doesn't, you hope it's not too difficult to repair. And every time it didn't work, honestly, it just needed a tube replacement. One of the tubes was broken. And because they're all American Fives, it's kind of cool because you can just take the tubes from the other radios, put them in the radio, and say, oh, look, it turns on now. So it's one of the tubes. So you just remove the tubes one by one until, oh, that's the tube that's defective. So, I would go there all the time. And I mean, I remember asking her, where are the radios coming from? And she tells me, oh, friends, family. And I mean, she's 80. So I was like, okay, all your 80-year-old friends and family or something like that, 50 years or older. And I was like so happy. I mean, she didn't care about making, she didn't want to sell those for $50. She just wanted to make a couple of bucks. And it's so funny because the last few times that I went there, she would hide the radios. Because I would tell her, if you have radios, I'll take them. And I remember even telling her, I'll pay $5, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But I'll pay $5 if you want for it, not $2, $5. And she would hide them. So I would go there, and she would go in the back and open this box, and she would bring out the radio and says, "This is for you." And even though I told her, I'll give you $5, she was always saying, you, $2. I remember once saying, she was looking at me and she said, oh, you nice kid. And I mean, I was 35 or 40 at the time. So kid, yeah, right. She's 80, so I'm a kid at 40. But I remember it was so funny because she was like, you nice kid, $2. So I'm, okay, thank you so much. And it's funny because at Christmas, me and my brother, we used to have joke gifts. So basically, we would buy something really weird and offer it as a gift. Me and my brother, we would do a weird gift. And I remember there was a frame with a painting. The painting was a blue painting with a yellow spot in the middle. That's it. It looked just weird. And I thought, and I remember it was late in the fall, it was like October, November, and I thought, oh, this is going to make a hell of a good gift for my brother as a joke. And I look at her and said, how much for the frame, for the painting? And she looks at me and she says, oh, you want the painting? I say, yeah. She says, this my son make in school when he was 8 years old. And she's almost super emotional. And I feel like super crappy suddenly because I'm like, wow, I thought it was ugly and I was going to give this as a gift to my brother. And she's all like, oh, wow, you're going to buy my son's painting. And I remember going home and putting in the wrapper. And at Christmas giving it to my brother, and he looks at it and says, wow, this is so ugly. And I said, look, you know what? I feel bad because this old woman explained how emotional that painting is because it's her son that made it when he was 8 years old, and she's just so amazed that I want to buy the painting because she thinks I'm gonna hang it on a wall somewhere. And I actually feel crappy. I'm like, oh man, I'm buying it because it's ugly. So, anyways, funny story. Okay, that's oh god. Frozen Solid. Hey Jill, have you heard of the Hanrongda HRD 737? What is your opinion? I have. That rings a bell. I need to check that out. I have seen a posting of that radio or that thing. I just need to check it out here. Okay. Oh yeah. I've seen that. AM/FM shortwave airband. I have absolutely no opinion on it. But if it's not too expensive, it might be a nice purchase just to have something more on the channel. But honestly, I don't have an opinion on it. I've never used it. I've seen there's a couple of YouTube videos. I think there's Two Hands in the Radio. I've tested it. You can check that out maybe, for sure. Simplio says, Jolie is the best $80 spent. Next radio PL 660. Well, I will be happy if I watch Jill's shows for the rest of my life. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you so much, Willow. It's much appreciated to have people here. David Snyder, 9565 is Radio Marti. Just go down here, 9565. That's Radio Marti out of Greenville, South Carolina. The Radio Marti towards Cuba in Spanish. Keegan says 81 Fahrenheit and rain. And he's doing his listening with the Ethan Grande Edition Field BT radio. And he's got 10 megahertz WWV. Cool. Ray Kelly says 10, 11 meters, both nice opening. Cool. K-Well 66, nice to have you here. Yeah, PC shows. The motivation for the PC shows have gone. When you do live shows, there's a few things that happen. Is that you are now live doing stuff and talking about stuff. And you also have criticism. I mean, you got nice comments and people loving what you do. You also got criticism. And you got a lot of stuff that you got to think about it. So it's not that I only think about money, but this is my living. So that means for a live show to exist, there's a minimum of how should I say it? There's a minimum of comeback. So it takes a lot of time to do these shows, and the PC shows are very long because you got to prepare your stuff a lot more. I actually got to prepare more for the PC shows that I have to do for a show like this one on the radio. So what happens at a certain time, you look at the amount of time that you put in, the amount of work, and what it's bringing back exactly. And then you end up with, takes a long time, the comeback isn't that great. Not that many people are watching, and some that do are just annoying idiots that just complain all the time. So you get to a point that you're like, the hell with it. I'm not going to do this anymore. You know? So it's a balance. And I also, over all of that, I used to do 4 shows a week. And I got to tell you one thing. Sit down and do 4 shows a week, every week. Now talk about stuff. Technology, PC, whatever, radio, whatever. And you end up, after a couple of months, saying, man, that's a lot of work. I'm getting tired of this. So you make choices. And the choices that I've made go with where I find it, first of all, interesting. Because it's not just a money thing. It's, if I do a live show, I got to enjoy myself. And I got to enjoy doing the live show. I was not enjoying doing a PC show. I was not having fun. I had a little bit fun. It came back a little bit when my nephew Gabriel was helping me out, and we had from the couch, which was kind of fun to do. But you know what? When after a certain time you're doing the live show just to do the live show, and actually you'd like to be somewhere else rather than doing a live show, you think, you know what, the hell with the live show, because I'm doing this first of all because I want to have fun doing it, and that's where I have lost the fun, is radio. I'm having fun doing this show on Fridays, and it probably shows. People are enjoying it because I'm enjoying it also. It's not just a money thing. I need to have fun doing the show or whatever I'm going to do. If I don't, there's no reason why I should continue doing a live show. Because in the big, scheme of things, somebody asked me once, yeah, well, doing a live shows, it brings back a lot of money. It's like, it ain't the live shows that bring back money. I mean, your donations help. But if I tomorrow morning would not do any more live shows, the amount of money that's removed is mostly donation money. And in what I do in a month with YouTube and monetization, it ain't that much. So I would not, if I would stop tomorrow morning to do a show and there's a mosquito or something, I would not lose that much money, honestly. Because it's the online videos that are bringing the views and the monetization a lot more than anything else. The only reasons I keep this show is because I love doing it. And that's mostly the reason why. And I think it shows. That's why we're having fun. And I was not having fun with the PC shows anymore. I was like, I don't care. That's why I stopped. I'm sorry, I know a lot of you enjoyed that, and I know that there was a core fans that was just really, really, just loved seeing my stuff, and I'm sad because I know that some people, it's funny because here in the chat room, there's a friendship that was made between some of you guys and between us that would not have existed if I haven't done the show. And that's one thing I never thought of before when I started doing live shows. I never thought about the other side. I thought about, I'm going to do this and try to bring an audience and try to make money. Honestly, that's what you think as a YouTuber, because it's my work. Like I say, this is my work. But there are things you don't think about. And one of them is, when I see every week, I see all of you guys, the same guys coming back, being great fans. But also the interaction between everybody. where I noticed that a lot of people have joined and become friends because of what I'm doing. And it happened on the PC shows. And actually, there's a couple of people that I noticed they're doing their own little thing to maintain the core friendship that all of these people had. And these people met because of me. Because I did something that brought people watching. And these people actually became friends. And that's a side you don't think. It's not a side I ever thought of, honestly. I thought I had an audience and stuff, but I didn't think that friendship would happen because of what I do. And it's kind of interesting. Honestly, it's another side of all of this, which is really cool. But at the basics, I gotta love what I do. And I like what I do here for the shortwave stuff. That's why I'm here. I was not having fun anymore on the PC shows. And it was taking so much time out of my schedule in a week that it became was more painful to do the shows than anything else. Okay, so Branson W said, okay, Keegan says FM Eastgate began 88.9 Mexico City. Right now? Keegan, are you receiving that right now? Calvin 2 says, all this new digital technology in DAB digital radio. I still love analog technology. I love analog radio, long wave. It is nice. It is a different technology, but it is nice, honestly, for sure. So Branson W, you got an old, very good radio. Beautiful. ICOM 8500, very good radio. Absolutely. He loves his Zenith A600L and all old radios. Rob says, kind of funny she hit them. Wow, that nice lady. Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of fun. Keegan, first RDS was on 88.9 XHM Mexico City. Wow. This is kind of nice. First RDS of an FM station via eSkip, 89.1 WSMR, Sarasota, Florida. I need to check that out. For sure. eSkip alert. eSkip alert, guys. Wow, I need to, I'd be curious. I'm going to try it anyway, but because I'm the long wire, I'm curious to see if okay, guys. There's some activity on the 6 meter band. Look at that. 5313. I need to, okay, we're going to try to decode this. 6 meters. 5313. I'm just going to make sure that my clock is synchronized. Okay. And let's bring out WSJTX for decoding. There's something just below. I'm going to check that out too. Okay. Is that FT8? VE3. Okay, I've got a K40Y. K40Y on 5313 upper sideband. And 6 meters. So 6 meters is open. K4MQJ, K4MQJ, and K4OY. 2 stations from the US on 6 meters, 50.313 in FT8 mode. So this is FT8 mode, 5313. And I see something down here that I need to check. $50.140. There's a ham calling on 50.140 upper sideband.
CQ6 calling CQ.
Kilowatt 9 Radio Echo Portable 8. Kilowatt 9 Radio Echo Portable 8 on 6 meters, 50.140. So we've got some E-skip and some good E-skip because even 6 meters is open. Pretty good. David Snyder, 11760 is Radio Vanek Cuba. Radio Vanek Cuba. Man. Keegan says, I received WSMR again, L2 UTC. I have video of the reception. I need to check that out. I'm going to check your videos tonight. Mick says, a friend and I exchanged the same CD for a few years on alternate Christmases. It was a dreadful thing by Ermin's Hermits. Oh, man. David Snyder, 40-meter band, seems good, 7335. I think Cuban Spanish. I think it's also Radio Marti, David Snyder from the US. Drifter UK, nice to have you here. I'm 3CSP, Steve. Nice to have you on board. Firefly, nice to have you on board. J8SBS, pretty cool. WF7I, Ombru, nice to have you on board. Hey, by the way, I got your email on the DX100. It's super beautiful. I'm going to answer back tonight. Really, thank you for sending. Always send your stuff to the official Shortwave Radio at Gmail, because the Yahoo email, I don't look at what's in there. So the Gmail that you send is the correct one. Official Shortwave Radio at Gmail. But love your stories. Very, very nice. We share the same kind of story with the DX100. I'll answer back to you, my friend, WF7I. Nice to have you here, by the way. Rob Fiducia says, yes, I miss the live PC shows. Yeah, I know a lot of you do. I don't know. I'll have to check out, you know. It's honestly, it's not out of the question. I'll do them again someday. It's just that I'm trying to find the best way to do it if I have to do it. Yeah, pretty much, Matambali. If I have to, that's pretty much what I have to say. You know, return on investment. You know. Yeah, McGlone, 2 Hands on the Radio is very good also, absolutely. He's got great videos. Frozen Solid, that's fine. I did watch videos before even thinking about it. I was thinking the PL365 with SSB capabilities. I like how the Aron also supposedly has VHF capability. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The airband. JD Williamson, good to hear that we're having fun with us. Thanks for the compliment. I've said it and I'll keep saying it. We have the best group. Well, you know, it's part of the fun. I gotta have fun also, honestly. And if I have fun, well, I get everybody has fun, you know. And it's a big part. If I would not have fun doing this, I wouldn't be here. That's for sure. It's not just a money thing. You gotta have fun to do this. I mean, you know, and I think it shows that I have fun because, I mean, I'll go on for 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes. So it shows that we're having fun. I'm having fun too. Justin Mass says, glad you're doing the show. Enjoy them quite a bit. Thank you very much. Ralph Fiducia says, I agree. Enjoy all your live shows. I understand your reasons. You know, some people don't, but you know, you got to make choices sometimes. Simply, I keep hearing this phasing and the noise floor all day on 20 meters, kind of like hollow sound that goes from down in pitch. I'm not thinking about the ionos sounds. Would you have maybe some kind of device that could be doing some noise in your area? It's kind of weird. Huh. Matt is hearing thunder. Yeah, bad. You need to unplug the antennas. Simply, I'll keep. Nick Mayakovsky, thank you so much for the donation. Keegan says Mexico's reception on June 3rd. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, my phone is buzzing all the time for the past couple of... Donna F., nice to have you here. And Matt says K4OY is in Georgia, K4MQJ is in Florida. So I'm getting some FT8 from down south. Ray Kelly says, same here, Joe. FT8 digital, absolutely. FT8 digital here. Ray Kelly's got a ham calling CQ on 6. Nice to have you here, Dana from Providence, Rhode Island. David Snyder, what was AM on 50 in voice? It's a USB upper sideband. 5140 was the station. I'm trying to look right now, but the 50140. Ray Kelly has 53270 phone. If you're lucky, sometimes with really sometimes it's really if it's really strong, you have even FM repeaters coming in. Yes, Mr. Paul, for you those that haven't seen Paul at the beginning of the show, he's right here enjoying a little moment. And yes, there's a joystick there, and the reason why I'm going to show you guys, I was just before the show started, I actually was playing this. And it's on the Commodore 128 over there. So this is a Commodore 64 Miss Pac-Man game. I was playing this before the show started. So, anyways, let's go back to radio here. I hadn't done that in a while, and actually had a lot of fun playing Miss Pac-Man before the show started. So it's interesting because this is on the long wire. I haven't plugged in the VHF antenna, but 6 meter activity. If Sean isn't having fun, this won't go on. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we gotta have fun together, and it's part of me having fun, and I am having fun. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with radios and stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, take time to listen to. I mean, this June, July, and somewhat August is the prime time for eSkip. So listen in, because there's a lot of stuff you might actually hear on the higher HF bands, low VHF, and even on 6 meters, and even the FM stations skip. That could be a lot of fun. Yeah, Rob, absolutely, and that's also a lot of fun, you know, sharing with radio friends from everywhere and just enjoying. Darren Pierce, nice to have you on board from VK3 Land. Nice to have you here. From the future, 8:30 Saturday. Nice to have you on board. And he's off to play some FT8 and WinLink today. Cool. Kevin Wood has 29640 FM. Yeah, there's repeaters on the upper part of the 10 meter band. Let's check that out here. FM mode 29640. I'm going to try to see if we hear anything. Whoops, I'm going to put an arrow with him on 12. We'll see if we can, if we see any repeaters coming in. So David says, for possible tropospheric ducting events on VHF and up, I find it useful to check the Hepburn maps. And there's dxmaps.com also. dxmaps.com is really nice. Yeah, Pac-Man. There's a Miss Pac-Man. Nice and strong. Shortwave is a solitary hobby, and this is what's fun, because, I mean, we're a bunch of guys. Instead of being in our little, you know, man cave, we're all together enjoying radio. That also is one of the big reasons I'm having a lot of fun, for sure. So, Keegan says, remember playing it as a kid as a laundromat in the mid 2000s. Man, I spent quarters, so many quarters, playing at a restaurant that was at the corner of the street. And the restaurant was in a basement of a building. And I remember I had the highest score of the machine for like 6 months. And one day, I'm going with my friends, because I'm all happy to show them that I got the highest score, to find that I'm second. Somebody beat my score one night. Man. I spent... It's crazy when you think about it. It's just quarters. But I remember thinking once, it's like, wow, I probably spent a couple of $100 in quarters playing there. Crazy when you think about it. WF7I Homebrew, 6 meter FT8 hopping in Virginia. Full waterfall. We'll be calling CQ. Cool. Free Saxon, nice to have you on board from Wales, Britain. It's so wet over here. Yeah, we had a pretty wet moment in time, but it's getting better now. It's really getting better. So it's nice to see that the weather is actually this weekend is going to be like summer. We're going to be in the 80s, like in Celsius. There's supposed to be 25 tomorrow, 28 on Sunday. Sunday I'm going to be out. I think Sunday is going to be a lot of fun to go out, have a few beers on the terrace, for sure. I mean, we've had one of the coldest May in. One of the coldest month of May in like 40 years or something. It's crazy. Rob Fiducia says his first game was Defender. I played that too. Oh man. Pretty cool to see everybody here. So there's some Sportic E happening. It's kind of nice to check out and see what is happening. Just gonna 100 kilohertz. Let's check out the 10 meter band, 28,400. Anything special happening in the 10 meter band? Not much right now I can see. Always fun. You know, this is the fun of radio, honestly. When it gets kind of exciting because some unusual weather, a propagation, I mean, like, Sportic E-skip and stuff like that. It's just crazy. It's like, having a lot of fun. There's something new. Terrasse. Sounds better in French. Take care, Bullfrog89. It was nice to have you on board, as usual. Pretty cool to have all of you here, of course. Terrasse, yes. On prend la bière sur la terrasse, this is the French lesson of the day. On prend notre bière sur la terrasse. We have our beer on the terrace. Oh man. It's your French lesson for this week. You're watching the Shortwave show, coming to you from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Hope you guys are having fun. Tonight, after the show, I'm having hamburgers on the barbecue, which are going to be really good and tasty. And hope you enjoyed the shows and that you like what we see. I'll do a last minute, not last minute, but the last little self-promotion. Once again, if you like what I do, don't forget you can send donations through PayPal. Thanks, by the way, for everybody that has donated today. PayPal.me/shortwave or to the Yahoo email that you see here. And of course, you can become a patron on Patreon. Simplio. Friday, Johnny the Icer, must be a Friday thing. Burgers on the Barbie. Yep, absolutely. WF7I just worked VE1CHL in Bible Hill, Nova Scotia on 6 meters FT8. Woohoo! This is cool. Congratulations. Voice of Turkey 9830 says simply, oh yes, 9830. Let's go back there. Check it out. Yep. Turkish Music 9830, Voice of Turkey, coming in really well. 9830 kilohertz. Kimberly K6YYL from California. Nice to have you on board. We got a woman. We've got a woman in our chat. Max Headstrong, if I could get Jill to fix my computers while he's doing the live. Max, all you have to do is restart. Just, restart your computer and everything will be alright. Hey Mick, good night. Take care, my friend. Like I said, there will be random shows, no Saturday shows for a while, but random shows during the week. Then I will try to announce as much as I can before they happen. And of course, we'll have our Friday shows. So see you at least next Friday, June 14th, 20 hours UTC. Hopefully, maybe from outside, which will be a different kind of look and feel. Ray Kelly says Bible Hill is about 50 to 60 minutes from where he lives. Nice. Kind of nice. 6 meters, I just love. It's like 10 meters. I mean, when that is open, I don't know. I feel like a little kid in it. It's like with this first radio. It's just so cool to see all of that activity. Simplio says underneath it is RTTY 850 air shift. I'm not hearing it here, but I know that Matambali. But I hear the RTTY quite often, for sure. Matambali, où se trouvent les toilettes? Yep. When you need to pee and it's urgent, knowing where the bathroom is very important. Kimberly, women, did I miss something? No. It's just nice to have. Some women in here. I mean, it's all guys, and also showing the world that it's not just guys and men that actually do radio stuff. Take care, Maglone. Matambali live show from the park. That's gonna happen. Some of these live shows are actually gonna be from, Perry Island. I plan to have a few from there, from a couple of parks around here, from some exotic Montreal locations. I will call it exotic Montreal locations. So we've got. Oh, that's true, Johnny DXer. We've got men, we've got women, and now we've got cats. And some of you have dogs, so we've got dogs. We need to make it bigger. But it would be nice to have kind of a few more women in there, But at least we're having, kind of fun. Madame Bali, sweet, exotic, huh? He's wondering, what is exotic exactly? No, it's not from a bar where, women are undressed, and no, that shows are not going to come from there. They're all going to be from nature outside, and, maybe at the beach. There is a new beach, by the way. There's a new beach that's opening in the western part of the island that I want to try. And you know what? Maybe I'll do a live show from the beach. That could be fun with a radio. You guys would enjoy that, I think. I mean, could be a lot of fun. Oh, man. Johnny DXer, I'm saying hello to your wife. I hope she is understandable with your radio stuff, and that she understands why you're watching a geek from Montreal, Canada, talking about radio. And she is totally welcome on the show for sure. Oh man. Kimberly says, I wish I could send a picture to the chat. I just took one on my radio, cup of coffee, and my cat in the background. You'd have to put it on one of those image things and share the link. Well, you know what, Matt and Bally, men are men. They think alike in certain areas. J.D. Williamson, fishing rod with a long wire antenna on the beach. Where do I sign up? Yeah, Nick Mayakovsky. You know, it's funny because they're doing a beach at a place called Verdun, which is the western part, southwest part of the island of Montreal. And the St. Lawrence River is, at that area, pretty much clean, and you can actually go in the water and it's fine. But at the east part of Montreal, and that's where I always find it kind of funny. You know, it's one of those things you're thinking that's like, what the hell? Is that on the east part of the island, we have a big, there's a plant there that actually will clean the water, the sewage water that we all send. The problem is, it removes so little of the junk that we put in the water that after that plant, nobody can get in the water because there's too much pollution. So the island of Montreal is actually a great big island dumping crap in the St. Lawrence River, and the rest of the St. Lawrence River is all crappy for everybody else because of Montreal. But we are lucky because we have put that at the end of the island so it doesn't crap us. It just craps all the rest. Which, you know, you think about it and you're like, why the hell do we have a plant that cleans water and rejects waste? Isn't a plant that cleans water supposed to really clean water? And that's where I'm like, yeah, you spend $1 billion on that thing to send crap in the water. You know, might as well just dump everything. It doesn't change anything. I don't know. My thinking. You know, that's the way things are. Yeah, a balloon antenna. Yeah, helium balloons with a long wire. Oh, that could be interesting, but let's hope there's not a lot of winds. If it's windy, though, what could be interesting is to have a kite. And the kite is attached with wires so that we can use it as an antenna. That could be a lot of fun. Also. Yeah, sand in the radios isn't pretty. I totally understand that, Johnny the Xer. You got to be careful. Put the radios in a plastic bag. Matt and Bali, it would be interesting to see just how portable that W6 LVP might be. I got to tell you one thing, Matt and Bali. I will, and the way I want to install my W6 magnetic loop, W6 LVP magnetic loop, is in such a way that it's extremely easy for me to take it down, and if I ever go somewhere, bring it with me. And that would be fun. So, you know, that could be kind of interesting. Oh, cool, Kimberly. We're going to check that out. We're going to check that out. Kimberly, picture. That is nice. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Cat, radio, and coffee. From Kimberly's location. Looks like this. Pretty nice, eh? Pretty nice. That looks actually very relaxing and just great. Just great. Thanks for sharing. Anybody? Hey, you know what? Let's do this. So I will put my email in the chat, and I want everybody that wants to participate to send me a picture of their shack right now, or a beautiful picture of their shack. So official shortwaveradio@gmail.com. Here's the email. Send me a picture of your shack, or how it looks right now would be fun because it's like live, and I'm going to show everybody what it looks like, just as Kimberly just did. So we're going to check my email regularly to see if you guys are sending in your pictures. So let's participate in this sharing of pictures from your shacks. Of course, you guys are seeing here. I'll take a picture actually. You guys are gonna find it funny. So here's what. So as I'm doing this show, what I see, okay, is this. I'm just gonna clean the lens. You know when your phone tells you better clean your lens, it's kind of dirty. Here it goes. Oh yeah, it was dirty. Absolutely. So I guess this is what I see. So I'm going to show you guys what I see when I'm doing the live show. So this is what I see doing the live show. So here is the wait, no. The camera is, let me just check it out here. Yeah, the camera is just here. Just here, there's this little thing, it's a camera. That's what is actually the camera I'm using. And of course, these are the spots. One here, there's another one there. And there's one that you guys don't see also on the upper part here. And this is Paul's chair. These are the other radios I've got on the other side that you guys know about. So this is my view of you know, the that's pretty much what we see in this in my side of things. The behind the scenes view of the live show. How would a dipole work in vertical orientation? Wouldn't it just become a vertical antenna? I mean, I think so. Brent, Jean, are the water levels still really high down your way? Here on the St. Lawrence, the levels are surpassed 2 years ago. You know what? I haven't heard much of anything on that. And usually I go down, there's a park. If I take the big street I got here, Saint Michel, and I go down, there's a park there, it's Parc de la Visitation, where it's a nice nature park. I usually go there at around this time of year to just check out, because it's a nice little park to, you know, watch birds and so on. I haven't gone this year, but I suspect that the water is probably still high because a lot of the places where the water rose, it seems that there's still very high water levels at a lot of these places right now. I'm talking about some VHF antennas are vertical dipoles. Yeah, the VHF, UHF, yeah, because, I mean, they're in a length that could be nice. On the HF, it gets complicated a little bit. Nick Mankowski, gonna get a drone and train myself to hook long wires to it. On top of trees. Oh, I like that. Ray Kelly can run his Walbrook on batteries, which is great for portable use. Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people actually using batteries to power their W6 LVP loops also. 11820. So Simplio is broadcasting of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let's check it out. Oops, not 1820. That's 160 meters. 11820. Yep. Yep. And I'll stop it here because apparently the Holy Quran is a stopper for monetization. Oh man. Bobby Burgess is getting the Radio R108 tomorrow. You're gonna have fun with it. I think you're gonna like it, Bobby, for sure. Matt says my shack picture has been sent, but only now is my shack cat bothering to come in. It's always like that. Oh, we got some nice pictures here. So okay. MDK2 Matt. Here's the picture upside down. Let me just your picture's upside down for some reason. I'm just gonna download the picture and try to change the orientation. Yeah. Oh, it's upside. Okay. Oh, well, look at that. There's a guy on YouTube with an ugly face also. Here we go. This is Matt, MDK2. With there's a YouTube guy there apparently on that laptop. And of course that nice here, that nice radio, which is the Grundig. I'm trying to remember the model number. Nice stuff. That's a nice. I look at that and I'm like, my stuff is a mess. And I look at pictures like this. So thanks for sharing, Matt. Okay. Mark Cope. Oh wow. Look at that. This is nice. He's having a beer. Mark Cope. Look at that, guys. He's got me in that TV up there. He's got the SDR running here. A beer over here. It's nice stuff. Nice stuff. That is nice. And you got a camera, I guess, running and showing something. Lots of tools. That's nice. Thanks for sharing, guys. We've got Johnny the Xer. Here's Mr. Johnny the Xer. With his cat watching the radio. Look at that. Johnny the Xer and the cat watching. Nice. Cat watching the SDR. Is your cat a better DXer? So we've got oh, this is nice. Some nice pictures here from Bert. So it's contact in 5313. That's in the picture below. So I'm just gonna try to do something here and see if I can. Yeah, I can't do it. Like, okay, I gotta download this stuff if I want to make it bigger. So this is the radio used, which is a very beautiful transceiver from Kenwood. So that's the transceiver. He's on 6 meters. We've got his contact that he had with that station in Nova Scotia. Pretty nice. What do we have here? Let's check it out a little. And of course, he's made the map showing how distant it is. These are nice, though. It's nice to see how, you know, I sometimes bring up Google Maps with the stations I listen to and have Google Maps show, like, you know, the distance or from where to where. It adds to the magic of, wow, we're listening to stations from so far away. Free Saxon. is sharing a picture also. So here we go. Nice little picture here. Lots of paperwork and pictures of a radio. Nice. Nice to see everything. Pretty cool. Thanks for sharing, guys. It's kind of a lot of fun. It's fun to see other people's shacks and radios. Look at that. He's got this also. Oh, beautiful that is. I'd like to have that. Does it work well? You tune it and listen to the bands? It's very beautiful. Wow. Thanks for sharing, guys. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to see all of this happening. Rob says, "Thank you for the behind-the-scenes photo." Not a lot of lighting, as you guys see. For me here, it's like being in full daylight in the sunshine with all the lights everywhere. Juan amigo, ¿cómo está mi amigo from Barcelona? Nice to have you here. Take care, Jerry DX. It's all right, Matt. It's okay. At least it worked. Matt says my shack is a complete mess. The photos do lie. Yeah, we always take the pictures of the nice part of the shack, you know. This is what it looks like. Oh, wow, this is so beautiful. Yeah, the rest is a big mess. Official shortwave radio at gmail.com. Official shortwave radio at gmail.com. Madam Bali says, way too messy to take pictures here because of the cat. It's because of the cat. It's not because of him. So, oh, that's what I could do now. And say, oh, well, everything's a mess because of the cat. That's a good one. Free Saxon, yes, it has a magic eye tuner valve. Oh, that's so nice. So nice. Simblio just sent an email. Let's check it out. And here, okay, there's Kevin Wood. Kevin Wood. There's a beautiful picture. Oh, this is nice. Outdoors. With the misty front water. Front, really nice. Look at that. So this is Kevin Wood sending a nice picture from Nova Scotia. Looks a little cold. It's kind of those pictures that looks cold, but kind of nice. Really nice. I'm sure you got some great DX over there, Kevin. Okay, Simplio. Here we go, Simplio. We got Simplio with a PL880. And here we go. Here we go. There's a PL600. 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 Right here. Nice. And his 11820 frequency for Saudi Arabia. Nice. Papa 2QN, Mr. Henry 1876. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now that's what I call a beautiful shack that's well maintained. Look at that. Wow. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Really nice. Thanks for sharing. So we've got a picture coming from Brent. So sorry it's sideways, no problem. I think if I hold down like this it doesn't turn. Does it? Yeah, here we go. So, of course, nice to have everybody showing us. Mickey Delmage. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It almost looks, Mickey Delmage, it almost looks like he's ready to make contacts right now. Let's go. Let's have it up tonight. This is beautiful. Hey, someday we'll have to have some beer there and talk about radio and DX the world. Wow, this is nice. Really nice. Thanks for sharing. Ron says, hey, here's the man cave. Oh, that is nice. There we go. Beautiful, nice. It's always fun to have our shack next to a window. Doesn't anybody agree with that? When you have a nice big window? One of the things that I always enjoy is, when there's like heavy rain or a winter storm, snowstorm in the winter. There's something magical about looking at the bad weather outside and listening to the radio in the warmth of your home and having fun. There's something about that that's just so cool. Free Saxon says it's... Oh. Oops. So Nipper, our dog in his shadow. Okay. Oh, look at that. Kind of cute. The dog and the shadow in the background. Really nice. Thanks for sharing, guys. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm going to keep these pictures and I think I'm going to put them in a special folder where I'm going to say, hey, fan pictures. Fan pictures. So we got a few new Twitter followers, by the way. Really nice. Yeah, it is. Thanks for the pictures, everybody. It's really a lot of fun to see all of the man caves and how everybody is just, this is amazing. Oh yeah, there's QST cover material for sure in there. Absolutely. Thanks for the pictures, everybody. Oh man. Matt says, it's too bad Token, known as First Token on YouTube, isn't here. His shack makes all others look like smash pocket radio, transistor radio in a box. I'm not exaggerating, it's that impressive. I mean, there are so many things and so many shacks, and I see shacks sometimes and you're like, wow, this is so amazing when you look at all of it. Rob says, I agree, a window is great. We feel connected to nature. Yeah, there's something about it. But whatever you have, it's interesting because it's easy. I think it's human nature. It's easy to be, kind of feel that we're not up to it because we see other people's shacks that are amazing. I remember getting an email, somebody saying, well, you're the guy that has these hundreds of radios and that big fancy 8500, and you're not the average guy. Okay, yeah, I'm not necessarily the average shortwave listener that has one radio. I'm also aware of something. So many times I've got emails, and we never forget that, anyone. We have. I'm waiting for a $500 antenna. And what it makes you realize is when somebody tells you, I got $30 to spend on an antenna, what should I do? Well, unfortunately, in a marvelous and fantastic world, would all be able to own the same things we all want. It doesn't work like that. And you get to a point where you're like, yeah. And somebody actually did kind of give me a little trash. Somebody that is in the chat room, not today. I think he's never going to be in the chat room again. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not like that. But you know what? He gave a few donations in the past. And he was actually mad at the fact that, well, you know, you're asking for donations and you're getting that $500 antenna. Why are you asking donations? You are rich. And I'm like, I'm not rich. I mean, $500 is a big stretch for me for an antenna. But it makes you realize, yeah, it's easy to show off and have people look at you and say, well, you know, you're rich. You got that $2,000 radio next to you. And somehow, yeah, okay, I get the drift. And I mean, I am by no means rich, and I'm not a millionaire, I can tell you that. I'm not living a big life off of YouTube. I'm living a good life. Yes, I gotta, you know, I'm gotta be honest. But you know, there's something we gotta think, and it's the fact that unfortunately some of us have more possibilities, and one of the things I want to make sure here is if you have a $20 Texan R9012, you are as welcome as anybody else. I don't care the shacks you have. You know, they're nice and everything. It's good for you for all the beautiful stuff you've got. But what I mean by that, and I mean I'm counted in there, because I mean all the radios I got here. But if you own only a $20 radio, you are as welcome here as anybody else. And you are an amazing person to be here and be a fan, and it's cool. And that, I want to stress out that it's super important that everybody feels welcome here. Whether you have one radio that's $20, whether you got a radio that's $12,000, whether you got 300 radios, you know. Here's my friend Fastload with his man cave with a beautiful guy on YouTube. So he's got a lot of test equipment in there and all of it. Pretty nice stuff here. Pretty nice stuff. Thanks for sharing, Fastload. Nice to see all of this and see everybody sharing their pictures. And like I said, everybody's welcome. And that's very important to understand here. Semblio 11990 CRI. Pretty cool. Andy Tobin, nice to have you on board from Newfoundland, Canada. Pretty cool. Really nice to have everybody sharing their pictures. Yeah, absolutely. J.D. Williamson. People sometimes forget. Sometimes people forget. Keegan is sharing a picture of his reception at WSMR with the ID on his Ethon radio. And it's a beautiful picture. Look at that. Beautiful picture of a radio with WSMR FM in the RDS ID. Really cool. Really cool. Really cool. Garrett from Omen in the Netherlands. Nice to have you here. And here is Mr. This is also a nice shack. Look at that. Nice shack from the Netherlands. Beautiful. Beautiful. Really nice. Really nice. Really cool to see all of your shacks See also how you guys are watching me on the feed. It's really, really nice. Take care, Matt, and have a good week. No, I don't think I'll be on. We're pretty much at the end, close to a close. So take care, my friends. Very nice to have all of you here. Yes, these shacks are absolutely very cool, Rob. You're right. Oh, you know what? I love it when there's wires everywhere, fast load and junk and stuff. It's like, beautiful, front panels with tons of little buttons. It's just like so cool. JD Williamson, all these shacks are dream shacks for me, but I'll get there. Yeah, you will. Absolutely. Absolutely right, Free Saxon. Sometimes too much money spoils things. Absolutely. Absolutely. Andy Tobin, just send the picture to officialshortwaveradio@gmail.com. officialshortwaveradio@gmail.com. And I'll show you guys what's everybody's shack. Really nice to have everybody here, my friends. Ron Deming, nice to have you on board from Oregon Coast. Thank you very much, my friend. Nice to have you here. Take care, David Arden, 73. And see you next week at the latest. And maybe before, who knows. That also, Free Saxon. You know what? I always say you got to make the best with what you have. Mm-hmm. And it's an example. What I do as a what if thing is being inventive at some points. So here's another picture coming from Mr. Fastload. Oops. This is kind of weird. The way that it showed up. Okay. Another Fastload picture. I'm holding the screen because it's upside down, or it's like sideways. So this is another picture coming off from Mr. Fastload. Thanks for sharing. Some radios waiting for a space and a radio control plane under construction. So that's what's happening in there. Kind of cool. Nice to have you here, my friends. Here we go, here we go. Anything else before we leave? We'll leave it a few minutes left. Hope you enjoyed today's show on this Friday. I will be... so Keegan says the radio's in the kitchen. Cool. Everywhere. Everywhere is a great place. Oh, okay, fast load. So, just to... okay, Mickey Lamunch says, just to make it clear, the picture I sent was from VE6JY. Oh, okay. That's the VE6JY site. It's not your place. Okay. Sorry. Keegan says the DXer in Michigan just received Nova Scotia FM station. Wow. I need to check that out for sure on the FM bands for some DXing of some sort. I just want to say one thing here. It's that the Saturday shows, because some of you weren't there when I said it earlier, Saturday shows are not going to happen for the summer. What we're going to do is actually have the random shows. So at random, any day of the week, it could happen. I'll try to tell you guys in advance if possible, but it's not always possible. And we will actually take that and try to have different shows at different times, different days, and I can't tell you in advance most of the time, but I'll try to keep at least a few hours. Say, hey, tonight we're live, for sure, and we'll be live in random dates and times depending on the week. So I think this is going to be fun, because on the Saturdays it's kind of complicated on the weekends for me, and having Saturday, Sunday kind of off is a good thing. So we'll try different times for different areas and different things. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have shows from outside. I'll stream sometimes from my phone on the Perry Island, the expeditions, or all sorts of locations and parks around Montreal with portable receivers. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and they will kind of replace the Saturday shows for radio. Brent, any karaoke this weekend? No, I don't think so. I was at the karaoke last night, and I did sing like 3 or 4 songs, but we're gonna be. I don't think there's gonna be any karaoke this weekend. Matt Mbali says, really like this random show. Exotic location thing. It always makes me remember, think of what we talked earlier. Simply a good thing I have notification bell toggled on and watch Discord too. So yeah, the notifications on YouTube is going to help you guys a lot. Make sure you got notifications for YouTube. Jason Wallace. Here is Mr. Jason Shack. Look at that. Beautiful. With a world map. Nothing like a shack with a world map. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Really cool to see all of this and see you guys' radios. Sorry if I can't really make it a little better than that, but really nice. I need to have world map well positioned for sure. And this is Free Saxon. Here is Mr. Free Saxon's face. He dared where a lot of people don't. And here is our friend, good-looking fella here. So nice to put a face on someone that's watching. It's kind of cool. I'm the guy that everybody knows my face. So thanks for sharing, man. He dared where nobody dared. David in Barcelona. This is my shack. It was just a few minutes ago, listening to the Airband on his IC 7100. And to Radio Romania, Spanish 11990 on his ICOM, ICR 8500. Turned on my Shack PC just for the picture. I can use it to control my IC 7100 for FT8 and other modes. I can use it as a receiver with the AirSpy HF Plus. That can be seen behind the R8500. Just love my small Shack table. And also, I think you may know the guy on my laptop screen. Am I correct? I don't know. So here is Mr. David in Barcelona. Simple but effective. And that's what is important. So here's picture number 1. Picture number 1. You can see it here. And here is, look at that, the backside with the connectors and everything. And the AirSpy Plus on the back. Look at that. Pretty cool, my friend. Nice to see all of that from everywhere. It's kind of cool. It's like, seeing everybody's, my fans' little place, little world. I mean, we were just saying a little earlier how all of this is a solitary hobby, and now we can share and see a little bit more of what everybody looks like in their shacks and all of that. Really, really nice. Great photos, absolutely. Absolutely. What else do we have? Fast Load says, I wish that AM radio on the shelf had right time to it. It will next time, okay? I'm gonna plug it in and put the correct time on it. Oh man. It is very motivating, absolutely. Hey Page Master. What's the heavy here? So yep, this group, like Max Edstrong says, this group is about love of radio, not how expensive your radios are. Seriously, absolutely. I mean, we all have our dream radio. We all have our. I mean, I think everybody has this radio that's kind of out of reach. That if you had the money, that's what I would like to have. But honestly, be happy with what you have. I was super happy with a Realistic DX100. Super happy with a Realistic DX302. Then I got a dream radio, which was my Kenwood R5000, and I was lucky to have that. And I'm happy to have the Icom ICR8500 for a while was a dream radio, and I got it. And not everybody can be there and do that, honestly, for sure. But be happy with the radio you've got, because I mean that's what you'll listen to the bands with. That's how you're going to share stuff with us and be with us here on the live shows. And it's all right. There's no, there are people that are actually kind of shy, don't want to show the radios or the shack or anything because they're like, I don't want to show that. I think I got, I think I got some crappy radios or no. Don't never think like that. Your radios are your radios, and that's cool. That's what you've got. And it's really nice. And I mean, we all should be just proud of what we've got. And I'd rather have a guy that has a $30 radio and just sends me all of these cool things that he's listening to, than a guy with a $2,000 radio that doesn't even tune it half of the times and doesn't even listen to anything. I always have that story of the guy that had that Greenwich Satellite 800 that was on FM on the CBC on 95.1 French CBC in Montreal. He would never tune anything else. He doesn't care. And he's got an expensive radio tuned to an FM signal. I mean, a $20 radio is going to do the job. Just stop. And, it's crazy. So I'd rather have somebody that uses an inexpensive radio, but actually uses it and listens to tons of things with it, than somebody that has an expensive radio that does absolutely nothing. Honestly, So Rob says, I'm glad I found you, all of you. I'm here to learn more about radios, and you all have taught me so much. And, even I learned from you guys. I mean, there's a lot of aspects of radio where I'm kind of clueless, and I think it's everybody together. We are here to help each other, have each other learn from the knowledge of others, and have fun. And this is the place for that. And I wanted to keep it a place for that. I want to keep it a place for the beginner is going to be as welcome as the 50-year-old amateur radio DXer that has 1 million trophies, 16,000 radios, and all of you are welcome. All of you. Fastload says, you can see Kenwood R5000 on my bench in the photo I shared. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, the Kenwood R5000. David says, thanks, Joe, for sharing, Joe. I'm mostly done reading out my setup. Really nice to have all of you here. Simply, if I had $1,000 US to spend on the radio, you bet I am going to wear it out. Collective intelligence, I like that. Take care, Free Saxon. And so, with this, I will end and say thanks everybody for being great fans. I will, of course, end with a little shameless self-promotion. If you like what we had today, a little donation through PayPal is much welcome. And of course, for those that can't, don't worry, it's all right. I want to thank you all for being here. Hey, 3 hours, 30 minutes, not a bad show today, hey? And seeing everybody's shack was kind of cool. I hope you all had a great time. I'm going to continue listening in to what's going to happen on the bands. I will try a little more on the Iqaluit stations from Nunavut, Canada. Take care, my friends. Hope you enjoyed today's show. And I love you all. It's without you guys, there wouldn't be a show. I mean, that's what I say when it's fun. I'm having fun. You're having fun, and it's just what we need to do. More coming this week on what if this was my only radio. I think it brings back also to the basics of radio. So take care, my friends. Love you all. Stay safe wherever you are. And remember, tune those radios. Listen in. And, in moments, we all have these moments in our lives where sometimes we're not sure, when sometimes we just, don't know what to do. We need to change our minds about something. Well, radio is a great way to do that. Just turn it on. Start tuning and listening in to the broadcasts out there. It helps a lot. Stay safe, my friends. Hope you enjoyed. Take care. Love you all.